Testing 1 2. Testing 1 2. Checking everything. Pretty sure everything's looking okay. That's surprising. Alright. It's unusually quiet down here. Not sure why, but... I don't... Sorry. Let's see. Hopefully everyone is doing alright. Let's see. One person here. I could probably give a guess at who it might be, but... Thank you, Brett. It's good to see you, too. You seem to be the only one here right now, which... Well, there's 2 people on. Okay. Okay, I see. Well, anyway, I don't really have too much to talk about right now, aside from... Fugly, gifted me another game earlier today. I already forgot what it's called. Oh, it's called Tail Noir. I saw it, and it's like, apparently it's got... So, like, I know I said, yeah, your swimming went great. Alright, and you went swimming yesterday. Nice, nice, nice. What was it? Oh, yeah. I know I said that I wanted to stream the entirety of the Kingdom Hearts series, but knowing that I can only really do it twice a week, it's going to take a very, very long time. But I think I might play that game that was gifted to me after I'm done. Hopefully it shouldn't take any more than 2 or 3 streams after that. Depending on whether or not I can beat the last super bosses. I have to watch some videos on the level 1 strat, especially the ones that they might use in speedruns. 250, 25, and all the butterfly breaststroke, backstroke, and the freestyle. Alright, alright, love to see it. Love to see it. Seems like you're the only one here right now, but no big deal. You'll be swimming tomorrow, and you'll and all the rest of the weekend. All weekend sounds like fun. I wish I could swim more often. Unfortunately, the house that I live in is not quite within the what was it? The township of one of the pools. That's not too far away from where I live. It's just outside of the boundary of the township, so we can't really go to that one. I mean, we've been able to go to it before, but apparently there were some things that happened, and so they have to check to make sure that you're living within the boundaries of the township. So, from what I remember, my mom would take my siblings to a different pool. I don't remember where it was, or whether or not it's quote-unquote public, but... Okay. Alright. But either way, I don't really have too much else to talk about. Well, actually, Konami literally just this morning or last night, well, really this morning, announced, well, at least where I live, announced the new ban list that takes the Yu-Gi-Oh card game ban list that takes effect on February 2nd. It's the 22nd, well, 22nd in the... I'm surprised that it popped up. So it won't be in effect for like 1.5 weeks, but... yeah, that'll be interesting to see. Unfortunately, one of the decks I've been playing got hit. One of the cards that uses it got limited to 1 copy. Like, normally, you're allowed to have up to 3 copies of a card in Yu-Gi-Oh decks. But one of the things they do is that they might limit those to a singular copy, meaning you can only play one of it. And to be fair, the card in question is a very, very good one, but I'm sure I can make do with other ones. I don't see any other people right now. Is there anything that you have? I might end up moving on in a moment, but I want to make sure that there are some things that I need to check. One of the things that I would like to do... Oh, that's what that is. I need to add a sub counter overlay, at least in regards to YouTube. I want to make a YouTube sub goal counter, if that makes any sense, because I know a lot of streamers will do that, but all I want to do is just make a number. And like, apparently I've got like 230 something subscribers to my YouTube, and I know that one of the ways to get at least somewhat monetized is to have either a certain amount of watch hours on all your videos, like I think it's 2,000 or something, 2,000 hours of watch time, or 500 subscribers. But I really do want to keep track of that, and you guys get to watch the journey, quote unquote. But I don't really, well, all I want to do is just put the number there and just do it that way. Like, I know that there are websites that can automatically track them for you, but I still need to do more research on that. I don't really have any other things to talk about right now. Hopefully some more people will show up later, unless they're already lurking. I'm just doing some resets right now. I could honestly do like a warm-up video before we actually get into the the topic of the title, but let me see. Yeah, we could do a warm-up. Alright, so yeah, let's go ahead and do a little warm-up video, so that if others are able to join, then we'll have some more interaction. We will get to the video pertaining to the title of the stream, but I only want to do that if there are more than enough people that are able to join, so that way they can give their 2 cents on it. Because I know I wanted to follow up on this SpongeBob YouTuber's video on an AI SpongeBob video that broke this YouTuber, Ava. If anyone who's been keeping up with the channel will know that we reacted to another video by Ava. It's spelled his name is spelled A-W-E, but it's pronounced Ava. But that's besides the point. But a while ago, like 1 or 2 months ago, he made a video trying to expose some SpongeBob content, AI content farms. Oh, you're not home right now with a friend, but you're on your way back. All right. Okay, no big deal. Yeah, I'm just making sure that we get everything all settled in, but yeah, Ava made a video a while ago about exposing an AI content farm that specialized in SpongeBob videos that, let's just say, they're not really all that up to code when it comes to, I know what I want to say, but it's kind of hard for me to say it. So you know what? We'll let Ava describe what's going on. But if you're watching this on YouTube, be sure to check out Ava's channel and his original video. Like, if you're watching, no more yapping. Let's just go ahead and see how this video broke him.
So my son, SpongeTruths, basically outed himself as AI. Not that it wasn't already apparent.
What the hell is this? There's no way that this is an actual screenshot from SpongeTruth's video. What is this? No, what the hell are we looking at? This looks like I don't know how to describe this, but yeah.
By uploading this video.
Okay, I want to see.
Because the title is, this SpongeBob episode is about Stoicism.
And what episode is that? Oh.
Now, Stoicism is an interesting psychology, or whatever it's categorized as, because...
it's a philosophy.
When AI and YouTube was new, this was one of the methods.
Oh, so are these more of these AI content farms, and they all just so happen to be about Stoicism?
Like 2 years ago, legit thousands of channels spawned in to preach stoicism by using these cool AI-generated visuals of
It's how to remove negative thoughts. Calm is power.
statues and an AI voice, preferably someone who sounds like an old man.
You see, they all sound like this. You see, guys, 2 minutes in, and I've already uninstalled every other app on my phone. They all tend to sound like this. It's very obvious when they sound like this.
Search for stoicism faceless YouTuber.
Yeah.
And there are lots of tutorials for this. So basically, it was a teaser for what AI would do to SpongeTube.
Yeah, SpongeTube is trash now. I just noticed this down here, the catfish. No, we ain't doing that.
And now we have an AI SpongeTuber talking about stoicism in SpongeBob.
No, I want to see what AI voice is being used this time.
Let's check it out.
For a long time, I
Okay, here it is.
thought stoicism was just
And here, a quick recap. You can tell that this is AI generated just based on the animations.
about not reacting, staying calm, letting things go, and being unbothered when life gets messy.
Like these little zoom ins and this lighting, and then you hear that zip sound effect in the background.
And for years, SpongeBob
And then that little stretch.
felt
And
like
then this little, all of that. That's how you know that you're pretty much watching an AI content farm. Most other more genuine videos, they tend to just either feature footage of like a TV show or a game, or they feature like still images whilst talking in the background.
a perfect example of that.
I want to bash my skull in.
Yeah.
I have never heard a more obvious ChatGPT written script than this loser.
Yeah, I mean, if you're listening to Ava speak right now, you can tell that he sounds like human, so to speak. Because I don't think the AI voice would be able to talk in this very bleak, almost monotone manner.
In the early seasons, he often finds real happiness simply by enjoying what's right in front of him. But these SpongeBob episodes have taught me differently. There are 2 episodes.
Okay, and he said that they taught me differently, as if the AI generated voice has a mind of its own.
Episodes in the show that circle around stoicism.
What is it? The paper and pizza delivery.
AI is not that good at reviewing SpongeBob or actually making any points.
No, okay, that's what I wanted to bring up earlier. I was having trouble putting it all into words, is that ChatGPT just, or at least a lot of these AI content farms, whenever they're quote-unquote reviewing episodes, they do so without actually providing any, like, points, to say the least, as to why a certain episode might be iconic, or as to why another episode might be a representation of why modern SpongeBob isn't all that.
Stuff, so
But it never actually gets to the point.
AI channels like SpongeTruths love using it for these deeper understanding videos.
This thing is not sad. Well, these AI channels are pretty sad.
AI loves to talk about what things really mean, and you can tell by these content farms' outputs.
And they teach you through 2 very different lessons. They may look similar on the surface, but if you try to live by them, they lead you to 2 very different places. The first place this idea really shows up is in one of the simplest episodes SpongeBob ever had, the paper from season 1.
So my son is already tripping here by saying that this is the first time this idea showed.
Oh, I see. So I'm guessing there's more stoicism in an earlier episode?
Since, spoiler alert, if you couldn't tell by the blurred images,
Yeah.
the 2 episodes he's talking about is the paper and pizza
Oh, he got the order wrong. Okay, I knew that those were both season 1 episodes, but yeah, yeah.
delivery. And pizza delivery came out the year before the paper.
Yes, and the paper... No, don't you know? The paper was the first to tackle this subject. Pizza delivery just did it after.
So this really can't be the first time stoicism appeared.
Yes, it can. And AI said it. Don't you know? AI is supposed to be super duper smart, so how can the AI be wrong?
Of course, this is me nitpicking, but that's what you have to do with low-life channels like SpongeTruths.
Pretty
to actually
much.
show how it's just a nonsense ChatGPT written script. Like, it took 2 episodes, and we're gonna discuss these 2 episodes, it says. And then it's like, okay, it first shows in this episode, but the first episode, the second, it's not the first episode, like you have
Yeah, don't try to make sense of what the AI is
2
doing.
episodes, and I don't know, bro.
The one where Squidward throws away a piece of paper and SpongeBob gives a deeper meaning to it. And when I say deeper meaning,
And I say deeper meaning, I mean much deeper. It goes much deeper than you'll ever imagine.
I don't mean it in a metaphorical way. Everything in the episode comes from that one moment.
My guy discovered what the plot is.
Yes, we figured out what a plot device is. We figured out how MacGuffins work.
Is shocked by the fact that something in the
I don't think that actually counts as a MacGuffin. A MacGuffin is an item or something that's being sought by the characters.
episode started the plot.
That's what makes this episode such a perfect starting point. There's no pressure here, and no crisis that needs to be resolved. It's just two characters reacting to the exact same object in completely different ways.
Shit like this actually makes me unmotivated with this SpongeBob stuff. It's so ironic that he's trying to portray SpongeBob as this soulful, deep meaning, important show, while churning out
No shit. Soulless, yes.
I slop content about it.
The
that
irony.
means nothing.
The mustache, even the helicopter, none of them work because the paper is special. Well, I guess it is special.
I'm pretty sure the reason it's working is because of imagination. We're gonna need Alex Bale on this one.
Since no ordinary paper could do all that. But what's important is that SpongeBob isn't measuring his enjoyment against anything else. There's no comparison or no sense that fun needs to be justified.
This is just the most annoying, pretentious way of explaining the easiest fucking concept to understand.
Yeah, pretty much.
Watch Idiot Box and you will see exactly this.
I just made that point a little moment ago.
SpongeBob has imagination, so he
That's
can have
all it
fun
is.
pretty much all the time. While
Although according to that one guy I remember looking at, imagination is apparently demonic, but I'm not going to talk about that right now.
Squidward don't have imagination. It's
Are
literally
you trying to say I don't have imagination? I have more imagination and one tentacle than these AI channels have in their whole bodies.
spelled out in that episode. But this robot loser is trying to use the biggest words possible to make it seem like he's some genius for pointing this out.
Listen, if I wanted to hear big fancy words, I'd go to the... Actually, you might not understand that reference. I was making a reference to an Adult Swim show called Black Jesus, where Jesus himself was talking about how, you know, God is omniscient, and then one of the characters named Shalinka was all like, just say all-knowing. If I wanted to hear big fancy words, I'd go to the fucking white Jesus.
It's like he's gonna make a video where he analyzes the fact that SpongeBob is yellow, and he's gonna act like,
Yes,
we can't use
that's
our
peak.
fucking eyes since he's yellow.
Yes, no, well, actually, didn't you see that Vsauce video? It's not technically yellow. If you zoom in ever so much into how like the computer screens work, you'll find out that these are actually just red and green lights, because technically that is how it works. Like, yellow light is really just a mix of red and green light. But how's that for pedantic and nitpicky?
Squidward, on the other hand, is the exact opposite of a stoic in this episode. After seeing SpongeBob having so much fun with a piece of paper, Squidward just can't accept that there's a new way of enjoying things.
When you're a kid,
When you're a kid,
You're a
SpongeBob. When you're an adult, you're Squidward.
SpongeBob. When you're adult, you are Squidward.
Instead, he tries to justify why a piece of paper can't be that fun.
I'll prove to him that paper is not fun.
But of course,
Okay.
the more effort he puts into proving that paper can't be fun, the more irritated he becomes.
Squidward is jealous of SpongeBob because SpongeBob has imagination and can enjoy stuff Squidward can't. Is this what people feel like when I glaze season 1?
Oh yeah, this was one of the videos that he was talking about in that earlier video that we reacted to.
Like, damn, it's not that complicated. Shut up.
What's interesting here is that he isn't actually mad at SpongeBob for having fun. Squidward is trying so hard to defend a belief. The belief that value has to come from refinement, taste, and things that look respectable. And the paper is none of that.
Or, you know, you could just say that he's jealous.
He's jealous.
It's like,
Yeah, like he's jealous of a bunch of dimwits.
really simple word to describe this.
Squidward begs. He trades lint, rubber bands, furniture, his entire house, even the shirt off his back, all just to reclaim something he already declared worthless.
What's crazy is if a real human made a video like this, minus the stoicism part, because that shit just makes me count you out immediately as
Yeah, I don't really see what any of this has to do with stoicism.
AI. But if a real channel discussed the symbolism here of the paper, I would at least hear them out.
Yeah.
But it is legit just
But it's just ChatGPT.
GPT trying to make a sentence into the premise and script for a whole video. Like, it's so obvious, it's not even over-analyzing, it's just word shitting.
It's
or
just a word salad, as they say.
whatever it's called.
This is exactly what Seneca was warning in one of his writings, Letter from a Stoic. He stated, "It is not the man who has too little who is poor, but the one who hankers after more."
I don't even know how to react to that.
Squidward doesn't lack the paper. He only lacks the ability to enjoy anything without conditions.
Saying fancy-ass sentences to try and hide the fact that you're just repeating the simple fact that Squidward lacks the imagination that SpongeBob has.
Meanwhile, SpongeBob is now happily enjoying Squidward's possessions, wearing his shirt, while Gary casually plays the clarinet to accompany him. This is the version of stoicism most people recognize today.
Shut
Is
up.
it?
Up. Oh my days, like... Just shut up.
Objects are neutral, situations are also neutral. What matters is how we interpret them. Or, as the famous Marcus Aurelius sums up in...
Aurelius. Okay, now there's something that I could tell. Aurelius. It's Marcus Aurelius.
his meditation.
Aurelius. Oh my god, no. That reminded me of that one the video that we looked at last time, where he mispronounced one of the last names of one of the... It was either a writer or someone who, at least someone who was featured in the opening credits. They mispronounced his name as Vanquest. To which someone in chat jokingly said Vanquest, even though it's actually pronounced Vasquez. So Marcus Aurelius. It's Marcus Aurelius.
Meditations, book number 7. Very little is needed to make
Aurelius,
a
yes.
happy life. It is all within yourself, in your way of thinking.
You're not even quoting bro right. Like, if you're gonna highlight the words...
Oh, wait a minute. Let me read that. We gotta run that back real quick.
Meditations, book number 7. Very little is needed to make a happy life.
Very little is needed to make... Yo, okay, yeah. Very little needed is necessary for living a happy life, and the AI literally just misquoted it.
It is all within yourself, in your way of thinking.
And that part is not even there.
You're not even quoting bro right. Like, if you're gonna highlight the words, at least say the words, and don't interpret it your own robot way.
Mm-hmm.
I've heard people say their lives became better when they put that into application. But it's also only half of what Stoicism was originally about. Because in the original Stoic school, this wasn't the end of the lesson. It was only the starting point.
It's not this, it's this.
It's
If
not that,
you
yeah.
missed the last video on this loser, he really likes using this type of sentence construction.
This isn't just weather.
Oh my god, oh no, let's count it. 1,
It's judgment. This isn't passion.
2,
It's compulsion. They're not trivial.
3.
They're warnings.
And
Okay, and how many more? No, we need to look through all of those and count how many there are. It's not just about uploading in 4K. Wait, I think I've seen this pop up in my recommendations, at least at one point.
that's something that ChatGPT likes too. It's like one of the biggest red flags for AI.
Oh no.
He's saying stuff like, it's not...
Okay, so the next, if we come across a video and it turns out to be AI and we find out there's something like this, then we're gonna click away, like, immediately.
X, it's Y. So, yeah.
The contentment worked perfectly here, because fortunately, nothing in this episode actually matters. It's just a piece of paper.
Huh?
Okay, so we just did a complete 180 on our analysis.
So, him trading his house away and losing all of his possessions, like even his own shirt, don't matter to him, or what?
That's where the next lesson would step in and say,
Okay, and what is it?
but what do you do when contentment isn't enough? Will you still be content when the stakes aren't trivial?
What is he even asking at this point?
I can only imagine, like, I can only imagine what you look like IRL.
Well, we already know Stoicism AI slop. Really on brand for the current misuse of PopSci, yeah.
In another episode...
Okay, now we're gonna get to the other episode that he said... no, Rody, in case you missed it, at the beginning of the video, the Ava, who is the guy that making the video that we're watching now, pointed out that Sponge Truths, the AI content farm, claimed that the paper was the first SpongeBob episode to feature stoic topics, while also highlighting that Pizza Delivery was another episode that did it, even though Pizza Delivery came out before the paper. So, yeah.
Pizza Delivery. This episode quietly puts SpongeBob through the 4 classical stoic virtues, one by one, and tests whether he'll drop them when things get worse.
True, I think everyone thought of this.
I didn't think of this.
I love the scene of SpongeBob misquoting Marcus Aurelius.
Yes, let's go. Marcus Aurelius.
None of this is ideal, but since a promise has already been made, SpongeBob and Squidward have to finish the job.
And who said it was a promise?
And from a stoic perspective, that detail matters, because once you give your word, it determines what it says about your character.
Yo, by the way, did everyone forget that Sponge Troops just changed the voice on the channel like multiple times?
Wait, did he?
Ever wondered why
Oh no.
SpongeBob SquarePants, of all places, lives in a pineapple under the sea?
For a long time,
Oh
I
my.
thought stoicism
Okay, so that's two.
was just about not reacting,
Oh, you're back. All right.
staying calm, letting things go.
And still, it's
Oh my god.
not obvious that
Yeah, and then the AI channel says that I think, or I do this, or I do that, even though it's like two different voices. You play SpongeBob Adventures? Alright, well, as long as it's not AI slop, Brett, I'm pretty sure you're good.
he's AI.
That's already the first test focusing on what's required now, rather than to keep questioning what's fair for them in the first place. Once they're on the road, everything starts unraveling in the dumbest way possible.
The irony of calling anything in SpongeBob dumb when this is your channel.
No
is
kidding.
Crazy.
He's constantly trying to orient himself, because that's a survival technique when you get lost, right? The methods themselves are ridiculous, but his instinct is solid. Regain direction before you panic. This is the virtue of wisdom in its most practical form.
Like, I'm gonna feel dumb for overanalyzing SpongeBob in my videos now.
Okay, wait.
This is just the biggest nothing burger ever.
The big.
At least SpongeBob.
No, I'm trying to comment on it, but the AI channel is making it very, very difficult.
Psy actually appears in the show.
But SpongeBob still refuses.
Who cares about the customer?
I do.
Well, I don't.
Squidward!
Line is doing a lot of work.
It's just a game.
I know someone else who's doing a lot of work.
Yes, a lot of work, huh? And you're just typing things in a script.
Too much, in fact. If your whole video can be summarized by just stating the most basic information about the characters' personalities, I think you should rethink a lot of things about your life.
The hardest test for these virtues, however, is hunger. By the time they've collapsed in the sand, eating coral and arguing about what pioneers used to survive on, the pizza starts becoming a real temptation.
The pizza is gonna become aggressive soon as well.
The pizza is aggressive because it's just another day in the life of Jimmy Neutron.
Start wrapping this up. Holy yap.
Maybe we better check on it.
This is one of the most accurate depictions of failed self-control the show ever did, because none of Squidward's arguments
Squidward is grumpy to... You like to call him Mr. Grumpy? Well, when you're a grown adult, you relate more to Squidward.
are insane. They're exactly what people tell themselves when they're tired and desperate.
Well, but that's a discussion for another time. And for other, plenty of YouTubers have made video essays describing the dichotomy between Squidward and SpongeBob, but, you know.
Yeah, when you're hungry and your dumbass coworker won't give you the pizza,
The
you tend
pizza.
to be hungry.
Yes.
Really deep stuff here.
It's almost impossible for humans to totally avoid temptation, but you still have to prevent that temptation from dictating your actions. When SpongeBob snaps out of it and slams the box shot, that's temperance in action.
Big words. Big words. SpongeBob, big word, pants okay.
Yeah, pretty much. Trying to granted, I don't really know that much about stoicism. All I know is that it's about being emotionally reserved, but... Or at least I think that's one of the features. But SpongeBob is anything but emotionally reserved. He makes his emotions loud and proud, if anything.
And finally,
The custard crab pizza is the pizza for you and me. The meditations are the pinnacle of 300 years, yet bro's also twisted to the laziest masculine self. Oh no, yeah, pretty much.
there's courage, the virtue that people misunderstand the most. Because stoic courage is different from confidence. It's persistence without certainty.
I'm gonna unplug you.
Yep.
Like, son, wrap it up. We get it.
Well, we can't really unplug them. We have to I don't know how AI data centers work, aside from the fact that they're very bad for the water supply.
Pizza gets rejected, and SpongeBob breaks down. From a modern perspective, this looks like failure. But from a stoic one, it isn't. Because the outcome was never the measure. The conduct was.
It's not just a boulder. It's a rock.
It's a rock, yes.
4 more minutes.
Unfortunately,
4 more minutes of torture.
this is where Squidward finally breaks, undeservedly. Squidward has been enduring this entire journey in a very different way. Unlike SpongeBob, he's holding on to resentment the entire time. Every setback becomes evidence that the delivery never mattered in the first place.
He has such a way with words
Yeah.
to make 500 of them needed when one sentence would have sufficed.
You actually tried anchovies on your pizza, you could say it isn't for everyone, I'm sure it isn't.
Squidward grumpy, SpongeBob happy.
From a stoic perspective, this isn't courage at all. It's catharsis. Squidward slamming the pizza into the customer's face does feel satisfying, especially after everything they went through. But it's also the moment where Squidward abandons virtue entirely and replaces it with emotion.
Yeah,
Yeah, the pretty much, well, these AI channels don't really have any emotion, and they don't have any virtue.
surprised the AI content farm would have a problem with emotions.
And virtue.
Can't fix the journey nor the outcome now. So, he fixes his pride instead. The irony itself is brutal here. SpongeBob did everything right and still suffered. Meanwhile, Squidward did everything wrong and walked away feeling justified.
He
Sounds like these AI content farms.
didn't do it for himself, he did it for SpongeBob. I get you're getting your sources from a misquoted
A mis-
2000-year-old
yes.
book, but it's really not that hard to understand if you're human.
Because pizza delivery never asks which response feels better at the moment. Instead, it wants you to focus on which one you can actually live with afterward. Stoicism never promised emotional numbness. It's part of the journey. It also promised that virtue doesn't depend on outcomes.
I don't even know what to say. He's losing me.
He lost me the moment that he started speaking.
using too complicated words for my human brain. Wait, why I...
Get this man a couple of ice cubes. Damn. Wait. Really? Oh my god, there's no way. There's no way. Well, actually, there is a way. Obviously, it's an AI content farm, and it's not going to know the reference to... He wanted a couple... Oh! The profile pic. Yes. It's that scene in the April Fool's episode where... I think this is Tom. He's like, what did you do to my drink? I do. You what? He asked for a couple of ice cubes in his drink and he only put in one. And apparently the AI doesn't get the joke. Because this is literally that exact scene. You wonder if you can make AI cry till it bursts into flames. Oh, a Simpsons reference, nice.
Ice cubes.
That's why the four virtues I mentioned before sat at the center of Stoic philosophy. It has to remain intact even when the world doesn't cooperate.
I
Oh, and then there's that shh, boom, that thing.
zoned out for a minute because it stopped being about SpongeBob, so my dumb human brain couldn't understand it, but yeah, he probably made some great points.
It's still baffling that SpongeBob accidentally teaches us about two different interpretations of Stoicism, both in Season 1.
Yeah, it's
I'm pretty sure it is an accident. I'm pretty sure the writers didn't intend for there to be either stoic undertones or overtones. I'm pretty sure they just wanted to write a story which usually involves some sort of conflict. Simple as that.
crazy what you can do when you write to ChatGPT to come up with some bullshit.
This is what sometimes happens when you stop letting discomfort dictate what matters. In the paper, SpongeBob shows the version of Stoicism most people recognize today. Value isn't in objects, it's how we engage with. Nothing is inherently miserable or meaningful.
How is this real?
You could probably say that about AI.
Like, this reads so much like parody. It's actually insane he's trying to present it as serious. This feels so much like that one SpongeBob theory troll video, the one where, like, SpongeBob walking past Patrick's house. If you know, you know.
No, I don't know.
Delivery goes a step further by showing what Stoicism was originally built for, doing better as a human. Which brings us to something I didn't expect when writing this video.
Well, I didn't expect something... I didn't expect to not be able to talk about anything watching that video.
You mean writing? Writing a prompt for ChatGPT, maybe?
There's another character in Bikini Bottom who looks calm, unbothered, and free, but for very different reasons. In another video, I broke down Patrick Star and the strange philosophy people project onto him.
Oh no.
I'm not looking at that to Mr.
another one.
To takeaways.
We are not watching this shit. Like, I'm just happy this thing is over. Shut up. Yeah, he's no child support still. He's a robot.
Yeah, we're not. No, not right now. We're not right now. No.
So my son's...
Unfortunately, I couldn't comment too much on this video. So, yeah, this one won't be clipped. But now that we've got a few more entities in the... I don't know where I'm going with that. We have more viewers. I think it's time that we took a look at the thing that the... Yeah. There's a Mr. Grumpy's Takeaways in New Zealand. Oh, you're referencing a town in the... Or a rest... Is that a restaurant? Yeah, I'm not familiar with those kinds of... I don't know what... I guess you're referring to some sort of restaurant, but... I think it's about time that we got into the part, or the... God damn it, I'm unusually tired today, and so I'm having trouble speaking my mind. But it's time to get to the topic of the title of the stream about Lily Tino's hand puppet. So we're gonna take a look at this normal gaze video. The last time we looked at normal gaze was with regards to the plastic surgery video that I had so much fun reacting to it because everyone in chat was going wild at it. Freaking the thing that Jackal said about it being a lip career, that had me laughing my ass off. But I have no idea what Lily Tino is doing with this puppet. For those that don't know, well, you'll find out in due time. But this only gets brought up in the second half of this video. Okay, I don't know what the Mr. Grumpy song is, so... Now, I could look at the first half of this video about some activist in Supreme Court, but I actually only wanted to get to this part. But if you're watching this on YouTube, you can check out the whole video for yourself. But I'm just going to look at the second half of the video, and we will go from there.
Needs in the world that need to be done, and making trans people look great. Lily Tino is back with a puppet.
With a puppet. You oddly tired and feeling well, I have water here, but no, actually actually I'll talk about it later. But yeah. So I don't know what she's doing with the puppet aside from maybe Lily Tino has made videos trying to showcase how surgeries work for kids using cake pops and hot dogs as examples, but we'll let her speak for herself.
Targeting children.
Oh god.
Oh god.
A puppet version of Lily Tino.
Can you imagine being so conceited that you have to use a puppet version of yourself in order to talk about your private parts with kids, even though you shouldn't necessarily be doing that, although I'm pretty sure the DDR community would like it.
Trans kids.
Okay, here, let me move myself out of the way so we can see what's actually going on.
Don't exist.
Whoa, that is not true. Almost.
Okay.
Oh my.
No, look at that. I'm not gonna lie, the puppet definitely got it going on, let's be real.
My god, the puppet looks more feminine than Lily.
Oh lord, that's crazy.
But also the puppet, it's like a dead ringer for Lily in some way, but like cuter.
That's what I'm saying.
No, I'm not gonna lie, the puppet is kind of better looking, to say the least. I made this point before, there are some people that can definitely, like, pull off that look, but then there are others that obviously might have some trouble with it, and then it looks a little uncanny, but apparently that makes me phobic.
Saying it's like the puppet actually looks like Lily if the facial feminization worked.
Yeah, that deserves a little bit of that. I was going to do that before, but then I forgot what number I assigned it to.
Like, look at the round puppet face and then look at that jawline.
Look at that doll. Oh, beautiful doll. You great, big, beautiful doll. Oh, Lord.
Lily, you have the jawline that I told my doctor I wanted.
Oh, no.
Now that's just mean.
I mean, yeah, sorry, I'm being...
But it's true.
No.
Sorry about your cat.
Lily Tino, we're allowed to be mean to.
Oh, I don't get...
No, but don't you know? That's hateful and bigoted. You can't be mean to people. You can only be mean to people if they're on the other side.
Lily
Lily's
is
I don't give a damn about Lily.
the worst. Menace.
The worst.
Oh, she's a jackass.
And think about how.
But thank you for coming back online, Lily, because we're making.
Yeah.
No, they're getting more content, and I should be getting. I would like to do more of these types of videos, but sometimes I'd rather just look at other things.
We don't milk.
Oh.
The thing is that Lily Tino is getting a puppet and aggressively making content towards children.
Oh yeah, something that I just remembered. If only they are enemies nonetheless. Oh yeah. Well. Oh, you're talking about that. Okay. Dang it, I just lost my train. Oh yeah. Yeah, she makes content for kids using cake pops in order to describe her private parts, but she also has an OnlyFans, which I'm sure some of you might be aware of. Like I know that South Park had that whole, what was it? I already forgot what it was. It was one of the specials where one of the teachers got exposed for having an OnlyFans, so...
That's what that is. And that's a red flag, and obviously enrage bait.
Do you think that in Lily's mind, this is geared towards children, or do you think that in Lily's mind, everybody is just dumber than her, so she speaks to them?
No, I think in Lily's mind, she
I think in her mind, she's just...
knows that, or
She's just lost it.
knows that conservatives will interpret it as Lily speaking towards children and
True.
get mad, and that's all Lily cares about.
She wants one of her gimmicks, one of the things that she's notorious for is that she makes a big deal about people misidentifying her at restaurants. And so she makes a huge fuss about it and and basically becomes a Karen. Let's just leave it at that. Tries to get the manager saying, this person the waiter referred to me wrong, as the wrong identity, like twice. And it's like every time it happens, it's like a stab right to the heart. And she's a professional rage baiter.
Enraging the bad side. Some percentage of who will then sub to Lily's OF.
Yeah.
No, I will never go to anyone's OF.
God. Like us.
Well, we only subbed to watch it. Our members can go back and watch us watch it. That was brutal.
I had to block her out.
Oh my god.
Oh no, I'm going to anyone's OF.
We couldn't solve the debate over whether the cake pops have been removed or if they've just really shrunken.
Oh no, there's no way that they're going to overanalyze what you.
Shrunken.
But it appeared to be what was it?
Why are we going into in-depth analysis?
I don't want to hear this. Please stop.
Liliana's ball sack.
I don't know. I guess you're right. We have to listen to Lily talk about trans kids with a puppet.
With a puppet.
But at least the puppet has a hole.
Why would you?
Oh, hell no. Is that what you... Oh, I know what... Because puppets, you have to put your hand in them. Okay, Clarkson.
Because I'm saying, like, Lily's probably jealous.
We know that Clarkson gets freaky with puppets for his own... No. No, we're not getting freaky with any puppets here.
I don't like
Lily doesn't. Oh, wait, no. Men have holes in their butt.
No, stop.
Oh my god,
No, please continue. I don't want to listen to this.
This is so off track.
Yes.
Trans kids don't exist.
Whoa, that is not.
She did the.
Well, what was it? The Finding Sky video that I remember watching, like, way back when I first started, when I was using a PNG table. PNG tuber. Why? I almost said people. Some people make puppets out of socks. Yeah. Sock monkeys. Yeah, I know about the sock puppets. Yeah, those are classics. But I remember reacting to a Finding Sky video, like, back when I was still using a PNG tuber, and she showed a clip of, like, who was it? Ariel Scarcella, who mentioned that some kids who say they're trans usually grow out of it after a certain point. Whether or not that's true is not up to me, but so to say that they're all... once again, I'm very tired. I don't really know what to say right now.
Voiceover.
Yeah,
But I guess... I'm sorry.
I don't believe that she's suddenly a good ventriloquist. I think she did a voiceover.
Yeah.
I'm not believing that.
I misread the stream title, Lil Tiny Puppet Hand. Oh my god. Oh, Rhodey.
because that's too good.
Although she did, I wonder
Wait, I wasn't.
how she got this. We should get puppets made of us. I wonder how she did it.
I bet it's
Val.
not that hard. I bet you can send.
Oh wait, I just realized even the outfit is the same. The magenta shirt with the jean jacket. Oh no.
Photo and have
Yeah.
someone make you a puppet.
Someone had to have made that like in advance. Like they knew, like she was planning to wear that specific outfit.
Oh, sorry to that puppet maker.
Oh no.
My life, but kids gotta eat.
Yeah.
2% of all kids are trans. Yeah, and they're all.
Hold on. I
And they're all confused, so you admit it.
question the validity of that statistic.
No, where did they get that statistic? No, I was making... There was a point that I wanted to make, but I'm a bit too tired to make that point. No. Yeah, I remember watching a clip where some kids grow out of it, or at least a lot of them might.
It wouldn't shock me if 2% of kids claim to be trans or non-binary or gender fluid or some
I think it
sort
might.
of shit.
I don't know about 2%. I think it might be like maybe 2% are LGBTQ.
No, more than that.
It's huge.
Yeah.
And why? Okay.
I wouldn't be.
I mean, in my experience, in my experience, at least in hindsight, I knew that I must have had feelings for other guys since at least elementary school.
Surprised if it was higher
2%
among
of
younger
how many-
generations.
Okay, but then you also that kind of makes the argument that trans kids in sport isn't happening.
Mm.
Because if 2% of kids are trans, that's a lot more than 10 people.
True, because like you take here, I have a calculator. 2% is 0.02. Let's say that we have 1,000 kids. 0.02. That would technically. Oh wait, no, I wrote that wrong. 1,000 times 0.02. That would mean 20 kids would be trans if there's 1,000 kids at a school, but I don't know how that would even work. What just happened? Oh, where did this come from? Stop.
To play sports.
There is a lot more than 10 people. That's just college.
Heh.
They say 10 people, they're talking about
Sure.
college athletics. There's thousands or hundreds potentially in high school athletics.
2%? You think it's that much?
I don't know if it is
I
that
don't
much.
find that to be that astounding a statistic. I'm not sure that it's true, but yeah. I mean, it's a social contagion, so.
Maybe.
I mean, some people, one of the things that's happened within like the past like half a decade is that people will identify as such a thing solely for the sake of earning social brownie points. They might not actually be that thing. They just want people to feel bad for them or to make themselves feel like that there's some sort of minority or a victim.
2% in 2020, but I feel like it's probably like 1% now.
That many kids be confused because they're being indoctrinated in our schools.
Says the guy that's doing the indoctrinating.
Teaching that a boy become a girl. Ah, you mean they're teaching kids that trans people exist?
I love when they fight with the straw man argument. and
Oh, there we go. Okay, so the Metatron's not the only one that can point out strawmen.
They lose. Like,
Okay, so we're pointing out a lot. I mean, technically, pointing out logical fallacies is a fallacy, especially if you're using it to disprove an argument, which I technically just used it now, but you know,
This is like, bringing up Leanna.
you have to count your
Leanna
laps.
does that all the time.
She's like arguing against, but she loses against her own argument. That's what.
Yes, it is true. The fact
Minority brownie points. They buff you or if you're US or an American. You could also do that in the UK too.
that in so many schools they teach nonsense about gender identity, and you can be non-binary, and some boys feel like girls. Plants a seed, and people have a social mind that is affected.
Yes.
Every other psychological condition in the frickin' book, we know that peer pressure and ideas and introduction can all.
Oh yeah, that stuff as well.
But
Yeah.
trans is the only one where it can't.
Yeah, pretty much.
Well, also, I hate when they say, well, you just don't want trans people to exist. It's like, if we were teaching that trans people existed, we'd be teaching that some men or women experience gender dysphoria.
Yeah.
And they transition into the opposite sex to be more comfortable in their body.
Uh-huh.
That's teaching kids that trans people exist.
Yeah, that's how. There's nothing inherently wrong with teaching people about these kinds of things. Like I remember learning about gender dysphoria in AP Psych class and how it affects people, but forcing it onto other people is it just hurts the cause.
which I'm fine with. But teaching kids that you can
I would say
choose
maybe
your own.
once they're a little older. Not like what age is that?
Like if you have like the legitimate I don't necessarily want to call it condition, even though it could be classified as such. If you have like legitimate dysphoria and identifying as the other helps you cope with it, then personally I don't necessarily have a problem with it. But if you're going to force that onto other people that might not necessarily be comfortable with it, then that's not my problem.
I think that's not age appropriate
I
for
would say that's
5-year-olds
like high
or
school,
whatever. Yeah, sure. Yeah.
But the idea that that is the same thing as teaching kids, oh,
The
your
gender
identity
unicorn?
is whatever you feel that day.
That day, oh, I remember watching some, what was it, my animated life video about it, and I'm like, okay, so these days you're Oliver, but then these other days you're Olivia, and it's like, okay.
I mean, we've covered some of this, like the
Yeah.
shit they're teaching in schools. I think it was
it's-
Colorado that we
yeah.
covered. It's totally.
Gonna get a
reflecting reality,
stopwatch.
But Lily wants to pretend it's all made up and just a hoax.
And then you also have to tie in the fact that these kids believe it, and then they go to a doctor, and that doctor is now forced to affirm it.
Oh.
They get on medication
Oh no, so it just goes into some sort of feedback loop.
that is supposedly reversible. But even if it is reversible, you just spent 5 years of your childhood with a micropenis and delayed puberty.
And one that you named.
Oh yes, like I know about like how when some people do get the surgery that they wanted, especially if it's done at a young age, some of those people end up regretting their transition, and so they attempt to detransition. Although people like Lily Tino don't want you to believe that detransitioners are really a thing.
What,
never
what
go through
psychological
puberty if
what
you actually get
psychological
on it.
damage does that do to someone? Which
Yeah, one of the things that can happen is that because of all those massive changes to your body, your mental state could rapidly deteriorate, and it's one of the things that leads you to want to detransition.
you can't really have a metric for. So it's just a whole storm, and to dwindle the argument down to we're just teaching people that trans kids exist is so disingenuous.
Mm-hmm. So it's par for the course for
Yeah.
Just learning about trans people doesn't make you trans, though. It's not like it's a virus you can catch from knowledge. But kids' minds are easily influenced.
Thank
And you're proving the point.
you.
Okay,
I was gonna.
That's the point. Kids, a lot of kids don't know any better. There are some kids that do know better, but then there are other kids that are just like, trust me, I've witnessed it.
I was gonna say that. So thank you.
It's like you need to Google what a social contagion is.
Mm.
really.
I
Like,
think I like the puppet. I think the puppet.
400
really
individual
should adopt
men.
the puppet's
9
mentality.
minutes,
Puppet can
nice.
just replace Lily.
Yeah, and then the puppet can come on normal. Games.
Oh no, yes, that would be amazing. Gender dysphoria is usually confused with gender role disconformity, especially with to young people who are naturally prone to not be up or be off for. Well, yeah, there's that stuff, like not wanting to fit into certain roles, I guess. Like, I guess when it comes to things like tomboys and tomgirls and stuff like that, you have like girls that have that like a masculine personality, and then guys that have a feminine personality, and I'm guessing you're talking about that kind of stuff. But yeah, that's not dysphoria. That's more of a personality than dysphoria.
Yeah.
And we'd have great conversation.
But it's just like, okay, so you're telling me that the documented instances where 5 girls come out as trans or non-binary in one class, that's all just organic. Right?
Yeah, it's like eating disorders.
Well,
Oh.
Exactly, it's like that. But
They all
what do you,
get together and they just vomit.
just learning about eating disorders doesn't make people have eating disorders.
Sometimes it can encourage people to have eating disorders. Wait, I can just throw stuff up and be skinny like all of those swimsuit models?
Actually, it does.
Well, it doesn't mean you
Because
don't
then-
teach about them, but you have to be very careful
Yeah.
in the way
Yeah.
you do it, and you don't valorize it and glamorize it, and then you don't allow the kids to treat it like a social fad.
Yeah.
I mean, the American Dad had that one episode where Stan became an anorexic because he thought that he was getting fat.
And yeah,
Oh, we're learning about.
No, he had body dysmorphia in that episode. He thought that he was obese, but as it turns out, he was all skin and bones, to the point to where now he had the Stan's I'm sorry, I'm very tired. Maybe I am dehydrated, but yeah. Stan's anorexia got so bad that he was hallucinating some sort of gym trainer and telling him that he was fat.
The disability that I have, and then they start vomiting, and then they tell their friend to start vomiting.
Oh hell no! So so such people would treat it as some sort of fashion statement.
And then what do you got? You got skinny ass little girls running around.
That's actually true, which is why it's important to show kids from an early age that being trans is normal and healthy.
Oh, so you're saying it's okay to operate on kindergartners?
No, I slept well. I think I'm very thirsty because I noticed that I usually have like a bottle of water and a cup of water, but I just drink all of it all at once.
Oh, no one's saying that.
Yes, they are. I read about it on...
I think I'm just dehydrated.
No, gender-affirming care for kids starts and ends with hormones. No surgery.
Hormones that
Oh, yes, and this is how it starts.
permanently
Just roll
change
the
their
rest.
bodies.
Do you know what most older trans people would do to go back in time and have started hormones when they were younger?
Do you know how some of those same people might end up regretting getting such things at such a young age?
Yeah, well, they're confused too.
You can't just call someone confused because you don't relate to their life experience.
Okay,
I don't even know what to say anymore. I'm just...
problem is not that older trans people. That's not
Here.
what we're worried about. We're worried
That's
about people
all-
who wouldn't have been trans as adults.
How can you be a professional trans commentator and activist?
No, that's the first mistake, is being an activist.
Puppet really let me down in that last argument.
Ugh.
Yeah, the puppet didn't eat at the end there. Puppet mostly ate, but so we're just lying today. I mean, it's
Yeah.
documented that, in fact, we're going to cover a topic of, I think, a 15-year-old that was scheduled to get double breast removal. So,
Oh.
Who got that?
Yes.
14.
and now maybe you could say those are teens, not children. Okay.
Okay, as if it makes that much of a difference.
When I was 14, choosing no.
No, absolutely not. That's
You're also very helpful and kind. Nice.
still really bad. And then it's just hormones is a crazy way to describe sterilizing and making sexually dysfunctional 11-year-olds for the rest of their life.
That's so absurd.
If they go
Yeah, I know that in Scandinavia, certain countries there have like banned these kinds of things for kids because they know the kind of less than ideal effects that it can have on them as they grow up later.
on the puberty blockers, never go through their birth sex puberty, and then go on the cross-sex hormones, many of them will be infertile and sexually unable to
Or
function
they'll have a
for-
micro penis,
which would
which
mean
is
that
psychologically detrimental for a man. I know that
Is it?
sounds like funny, but like if you're a man and you have a micro penis, you're most likely gonna have a life. I'm sorry.
Well, the ancient Greeks would like that. The ancient Greeks considered small thingies to be beautiful, and that big ones were considered barbaric.
all of it is not stuff that an 11-year-old can really understand. Plus,
No.
going through their birth sex puberty is what would have made the gender discomfort go away in a lot of them.
I'm sure
Now,
it
some
would.
might persist, and then
Yeah, sometimes, yeah. No, that was in that video that I mentioned earlier.
those are the ones.
The clip that I saw mentioning that some kids do grow out of it.
Who might be candidates for this stuff when they're 18, but
Yeah, like Kim Petras did it when she was 16, I think.
Mm.
And some
I mean,
people
that's
are
a little
some
too young
just-
still for me.
Yeah, yeah. But and the thing is like yes, it does work for some trans people, and it makes their lives a little bit better. But does the risk outweigh the reward of helping some trans people?
Literally,
The answer is no.
Lily's only thought is about trans adults who wish they could have done it
It's
sooner.
not about adults or gay people like me who literally was convinced that I was supposed to be a girl when
The
I
hell?
was like 9 years old.
You would have been put on.
I would have had a
Oh, that's right. The stories about how some parents, usually mothers, would force their kids to be that way. Either because you casually see your son playing with a Barbie doll just randomly for no other reason other than, I don't know. Like, me and my sister would play with all sorts of toys, and regardless of whether they were for boys or for girls, we pretty much played with all of them. But yeah, you'd be a barbaric philosopher king for Greeks. Oh, hell no. Do not, Rhodey, do not Why would you admit that out loud? I didn't want to hear that. Stop it. But yeah, no, they'll force their kids to identify as the other sex simply because of one little action that they may or may not have done, and they will force them to do these kinds of things and convince them that yes, you are supposed to be this.
If I had a
You would have a fake neo vagina.
I
as we speak.
wouldn't be able to sell on OnlyFans.
Well, you just put a cucumber in there or something.
No
You guys
cucumbers.
let me know what you think in the comments.
I tried to tell you what I thought, but apparently I'm very dehydrated right now. No, normally, unfortunately, I couldn't really comment too much on this. Hopefully some of these other... Maybe I could look at this... I should probably look at this. This will probably get my brain pumping, if anything. I feel so bad. No, normally I'm only like halfway done with one of these water bottles by this point, or at least I will have gotten started drinking them, but no. Oh yeah. I didn't drink enough water the day before yesterday, because I went to go play DDR yesterday, and I was having a lot of trouble reading complex patterns. Like, a pattern that would be very basic for me, I was having trouble reading and responding to them. Like, my energy was there, I had the energy to be able to play, but for some reason, I was having a lot of trouble focusing. And I ended up, like, drinking most of what I had on hand, like, the half a Gatorade that I had, and the 3 water bottles that I took with me. And I guess I'm still kind of dehydrated, and so I guess that explains why I couldn't really comment on that SpongeBob video very much. Yeah. But now my stomach is like full of water. I mean, I ate before I got home from work, like I usually do, but good lord. Here, let me try watching this video and see if I can actually... A minute in 0.53 seconds. Let's see if we can get the sub 1 minute. No, Brett is gonna be speed running swimming now. I don't know what you would call that, if anything, but yeah, we're doing a swim speed run for Brett. He's going to get his time down. Hopefully he can save some time at that, at the butterfly breaststroke split. We have to make sure that he has the what's it called? Like, you know how speedrunners will have their live split and then the timer? We need to do that for Brett. We need to do that for Brett. We're gonna speed run his swimming everythings. No, I'm trying to get my... Maybe I should do some jumping jacks, queso style. I don't know if any of you guys watch queso, but I remember going down a small queso rabbit hole at some point and seeing some of the animations and seeing him react to some of those animations. That one animation where he's doing jumping jacks and he's like unnecessarily big, and one jumping jack caused a crack in the earth. But hopefully a video like this will actually get my brain pumping. And this is math homework for 6-year-olds. And it's about whether or not vertices have a size, which are not true for a rectangle. Choose all of the correct answers. So we have to look for false statements. It has 5 vertices. That is a false statement, so that is not true. It is a closed shape. Queso. Yes. But it is a closed shape. Obviously, this computer screen is a rectangle, so it's already a closed shape. It has vertices that are different sizes. Now, when I read that, I saw this yesterday. Yeah, I saw this like last night, and I was like, I wonder if this would be good to react to on stream. Because we need to look at more math videos, I'm serious when I say that. And I have this other video saved about the most classic 1=2 proof. I think this will help get my brain pumping. So, my daughter's first geometry homework in 1st grade asks this question. Doing fine. Thank you for asking. Which are not true for the rectangle, and the vertices are different sizes. If they have different angles? No, that's what I thought. When I saw that, I was like, maybe it's talking about the size of the angles, because vertices are just the points at which angles converge. Okay, 2 minutes and 22.22 seconds. Let's try to get let's get a sub 2, so Brett, let's get a sub 220, let's get a sub 220 for that, and then a sub 230 for your 100 millimeter. Yeah, less than 2, the stream could be better, let's just leave it at that. But I want to see if we can try to rationalize whether or not vertices can be of different sizes.
Grade math homework.
And this is supposed to be for 6-year-olds. I don't remember ever learning anything about the sizes of vertices in first grade. I mean, people, I keep seeing videos pop up in my recommendations about the Gen Alpha reading crisis, about 40% of teachers quitting their jobs because Gen Alpha can't read. Why can't Johnny read? Why can't Johnny read? God, that gets old. And maybe this is why. Maybe they're too busy doing math to actually... They're too busy doing this type of math in order to read.
Is for 6-year-olds, so it's got to be simpler than sniffing a math book. Let's see, which are not true for a rectangle? A, it has 5 vertices.
Yeah.
B, it is a closed shape. Or C, it has vertices that are different sizes. Well, obviously, A isn't correct.
A is not right. Rectangles have 4 vertices.
We're supposed to choose all of the correct answers,
yeah.
And this is not correct, since rectangles infamously have 4 vertices.
Yes.
As for B, it is a closed shape, although it...
Yeah, do vertices have side? Crusty mathematician who has studied topology way too much. Well, kiddo, let me tell you about zero-dimension knots. Oh, no.
Surprises me. That would be a talking point in first grade. So B is correct. And
yeah, B is... Yes, it is a closed shape.
And C, it has vertices that are different sizes.
No, when I read that, I tried to figure out what it actually means, and the only conclusion that I could come up with is that it's talking about an angle.
What does that even mean? I have no idea, so I think it's just B then. Which are not true for a rectangle? B, it is a Wait a minute, they tricked me. What
Wait.
A cruddy way to word this question. Choose all of the correct answers, which are the ones that are not
Yeah, it's the ones that aren't true.
True. I assume that this phrase is here to emphasize the fact that you might have to pick multiple answers.
Yeah.
But that work was already done with the word are, which are not true. That's plural. And the part about vertices having different sizes, let's be honest, that's a little bit silly.
Yeah.
And OP found that part particularly
Yeah, are they trying to find out if it's about angles?
confusing. Are they trying to ask about the angles? What does this mean? Do first graders even know the word vertices?
No, that's the point that I was trying to make earlier, is like, I don't remember learning about the word vertice, or vertex for that matter, in first grade. At best, maybe 3rd, 4th, 2nd grade at most.
One commenter said that their year 1 son knew what a vertex was.
Really?
So maybe the term is age appropriate. After all, year 1, as I understand it, is the equivalent of Americans' kindergarten.
I guess it depends on where you live.
So that's even earlier than first grade.
No, I don't remember learning the word vertex that early.
This commenter also pointed out the conflict in the wording, how it's kind of confusing to request answers that are both not true and correct.
Well, I figured that out rather quickly. I knew what it was asking.
Of course, the Redditors were on her like bumper stickers on a dog.
It's asking you to choose which ones are false, basically.
Mom's car, since her description of the problem wasn't completely literally flawless. As for these 3 statements, statement
Yeah, A is one. Yeah, you're supposed to circle A and presumably C.
A is... Oh! Statement A is perfect. Everybody knows what it means. You can look at a rectangle and determine if it has 5 vertices or some other number of them.
Yeah.
And then statement B could be perfect, but again, I'm kind of surprised that first graders are learning about this particular property of rectangles.
I don't know if I don't even remember what we learned in first grade for that matter. I just know we learned addition and subtraction. I think we did multiplication in second grade. I don't remember, but I do know we did that in third grade too.
Thought first grade math was more like which shape is a square,
Yeah, that's what I thought too.
rather than which figure shows a closed
Oh no. We got we're already doing, so we're doing derivatives in first grade now.
bounded region. And statement C, I think a lot of people took issue with because it doesn't really mean anything.
Yeah.
Saying a rectangle has 5 vertices means something.
Yep.
Rectangles have vertices, so you can count them and check the veracity of the statement. But saying the vertices are different sizes doesn't mean anything. You might as well ask if the vertices have different preferences in free-form jazz music.
Oh yeah.
So then it's easy enough to say that obviously statement C is not true.
Yeah.
But really, it feels like it'd be better to have a meaningful statement which could actually be checked against a real rectangle. Like the 4 angles of a rectangle have different sizes.
Yeah, that would have been a much better question, which they don't. The primary property of a rectangle that sets it apart from other quadrilaterals or 4-sided shapes is that all of the angles are right angles. And, right? Yeah, all of the angles are right angles.
Or,
That's the primary property of a rectangle.
well, maybe if we just,
Actually, if you make the vertices bigger, because do we really have to, I understand that we're in the mountains, but do we have to freeze to death?
hard enough, we could say that the vertices do have different sizes. Maybe. The question is a little sloppy, poorly written.
I'm guessing what it could be asking is if you draw a rectangle, but then you decide to make the vertices just 4 large dots.
Yada yada. We can't be getting a first grade question wrong. So to be super careful, let's
Yeah, that's why they are rect. Oh, wait a minute. Rhodey, you're telling me that actually, I can see it in the way that it's spelled. The RCT corresponds with the RGHT because within Indo-European linguistics, specifically with regards to Germanic languages, there's something called Grimm's Law, where certain consonants ended up having their pronunciations changed in the transition from Indo-European to Germanic. And one of those changes was the Indo-European k sound becoming a h sound, which dicht is how the word right used to be pronounced until the GH went silent and then the I ended up being elongated. Let me guess, what is rect? Is it Latin prefix? I'd imagine that it would be, considering that most of the other prefixes for like, well, no. Most of the prefixes for like triangle, quadrilateral, pentagon, hexagon, the gon shapes, those are all Greek. But is rect Greek for right? At least in terms of an angle? No, I didn't even notice that, Rhodey. You just blew my mind.
do a deeper dive on all 3 statements in this math homework for 6-year-olds. It's a bird. No, it's a plane.
No, it's a... Oh, I get it.
It's first grade math homework.
Oh, Lord, no. This is reminding me of the scene in The Incredibles 2 where Bob is trying to help Dash with this math homework, and he's all like, why would they change math? Because I remember my mom researching what was known as Common Core mathematics, and she thought it was very absurd.
Start with
and so she related to that scene.
Vertices. If A is not true because a rectangle has 4 vertices, well, how do we know that? I mean, what even is a vertice?
It's a point where it's a point at an angle, or it's a point where two lines meet at an angle.
Is a vertex of a polygon simply where two sides meet? If so,
Technically.
what's a side? Well,
A side is like you have your entree and then you have your sides. That's what a side is.
according to the definitions, the sides are the line segments that connect to form the polygon.
Yeah.
That's simple enough, and since a rectangle has 4 line segments that meet at 4 points, it would seem a rectangle has 4 vertices.
No, you see the different sizes of the vertices. You're now looking at the big picture. Let's say this is a very big vertice and this one's very small, but it's still a rectangle. I'm guessing that's what it's asking.
It's not fun. But then,
When you really stop to think about it now.
we really know, for example, that this is one side. Could it not truthfully be 2 sides?
Technically, this is a thing. I can't remember the technical. It's like a bisector, I think.
That then also meet right here,
Because then that would technically make this a pentagon.
giving a 5th vertex? I suppose from the geometry perspective, that doesn't really make any sense, and since there isn't an angle created here with a measure different from 180 degrees, it certainly doesn't...
Because technically, you could infinitely divide this line and make infinite polygons with it.
walk or talk like a vertex. But then again, this is something called a star polygon.
I thought that was called a pentagram.
And this is what normal people would call a star, but mathematicians would not technically call this a star polygon.
Really?
And how many vertices do these shapes have?
Oh, that's actually kind of a trick question. Here, let me move... No, not this. I try to click on my avatar and it clicks on the... Here, let us actually count the vertices, shall we? Let's see, we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Let me double count. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. There's 10 vertices on this. And there are 10 sides, which makes it a decagon, or a 10-sided shape. But this one... he's actually raising a pretty good point. Would we count like this and these? Why did I say it as these? Would we count these as 2 separate vertices? Or would we count these as 2 vertices, or would we just count them as 1? I'm guessing that's where he's going. Let me put this back real quick.
Well, if anything, certainly this must have more vertices than that, since this looks just like that, but with a lot more junk going on in the middle.
Yeah.
Well, nope, not how it works. This star polygon has 5 vertices.
Is that so?
And
Oh, I think I get it now.
this 5-pointed star has 10 vertices. Check
Oh, I get it.
this out. This is called the trick of the disappearing vertices. Here's a pentagon and 5 triangles. That's 20 vertices total, right? Wrong. Put them together and you can see that it's only 5 vertices. There is this concept of self-intersecting polygons.
Okay, so this is not a vertex because so these are vertices, but this one's not a vertex.
Whose edges cross each other. And for this concept to exist at all, there has to be some understanding that when the edges of a polygon meet, that doesn't necessarily create a vertex.
I mean, if you're thinking about, if you were to translate this into 3 dimensions, you could make it so that one of the lines is just on top of another, and so it wouldn't cross at all.
Looking at a rectangle, obviously this is a vertex where 2 sides meet because of the change in direction.
Okay.
However, looking at the star polygon, this is only a change in direction if we don't regard this as a single side.
Okay.
Regarding this as a single side of the star polygon, we don't encounter a change in direction until right here.
Until the very
where
top.
we meet another side of the star. So whether or not a shape like this truly has just 5 vertices depends a bit on the context.
This thing is missing the Bermuda shorts of Patrick.
It might be one polygon with 5 sides and 5 vertices, but it could also be 6 polygons mushed together. Either way, the humble rectangle is much simpler and has only 4 vertices. So since A is not true for rectangles, that means it is a correct answer.
Yes.
Next up, B, it is a closed shape. What does that mean? There's certainly some amount of intuitive obviousness here. This shape looks to be open, this one definitely closed.
Yeah.
But there's a lot.
But there's, of course, just when you think you have it figured out, there's some sort of 5D chess level of nuance that most even high schoolers aren't going to notice.
A lot more to this story than you might think. One perspective we might take is that of polygonal chains or polylines.
Okay, this is my first time hearing about this.
A polygonal chain is simply a collection of vertices in the plane which are connected consecutively by line segments.
Would this be considered a polygon, though?
This is a polygonal chain, but it's not what we typically call a polygon. Unlike this simple polygonal chain, this one is self-intersecting because
okay, so this wouldn't be considered. Okay, this, and that would be considered vertices, but this and that wouldn't necessarily be, would they?
Is this crossing of the edges which doesn't occur at one of the vertices. And again, it's not a polygon. If there happens to be a segment joining the last vertex of the chain to the first,
then in that case it would be closed, and then those would be vertices.
Then it looks like a polygon, and this is called a closed polygonal chain. Key word here being closed. That means then that this is a closed polygonal chain, and it appears to be a rectangle.
Yeah.
So, rectangle.
Kind of. You can tell that the angle on this one is a bit wider than some of the others, making it almost a trapezoid.
Are closed. But then again, closed polygonal chains are not always the same as polygons. The term polygon often refers to just the boundary, which is the same as the polygonal chain, but sometimes it also refers to the interior space, which is not part of a polygonal chain. If by rectangle we mean the polygonal chain boundary and all of the interior space, then there's no question that this rectangle is closed. Not only does it contain all of the shaded interior points, but all of these interior points fit snugly within the boundary, which is also part of the rectangle. Alternatively, what if by rectangle we mean only the interior area, but excluding the boundary line?
Oh, I see.
In that case, this shape is not closed. For example, consider this 2x1 rectangle on the x-axis and the point xy. Let's say x is greater than 0 and less than 2. Then y could be, for example, 0.9 or 0.99 or 0.999. No matter how many 9s there are, it's still less than 1, so it would still lie within the rectangular region. But the region isn't closed because it doesn't contain the boundary. So if we considered the point 1, 1,
I see where he's going with this.
In the rectangle. We could get as close as we like to 1, 1 within the region, but 1, 1 itself is not included. So from this perspective, where rectangle means the interior area only, a rectangle is not closed. But what about the more typical situation, where we think of the rectangle just as the boundary?
Just as the border.
You'd probably agree this is a rectangle, even though there aren't any interior points.
Okay, but we're going to ask whether or not it's closed.
Is it closed or is it open? Well, in other areas of math, we say that a set is closed if it contains all of its limit points. Remember, this rectangular region isn't closed because there's a limit point, 1, 1, that isn't in the region. It's a limit point because we can get as close to it as we like within the region, but it isn't actually included because we've specifically excluded the boundary in this interpretation of rectangle. When we look at the polygonal chain as a set of points, the only limit points are those which lie on the chain. For example, here's a point that's not on the chain.
I'm having trouble commenting on this because he's getting very, very deep into the weeds.
It's certainly not a limit point of the rectangle, because if it's not on the chain, then there's some space between the chain and the point, and so we can't get arbitrarily close to this point while staying on the rectangle. So when we interpret a rectangle this way as just the boundary or the polygonal chain, it certainly is closed because every limit point is on the polygonal chain. I'd say when the word rectangle is used, it's typically the polygonal chain which is meant, and only sometimes the interior region including the boundary, which is
usually when it comes to like I wanted to bring up the concept of the area of the rectangle, but I don't know if that applies in this case.
meant. So this, for example, would be a pretty far-fetched interpretation of the word rectangle. Hence, I think we can agree that a rectangle is a closed shape.
Yeah, I think for all intents and purposes we can consider that as such.
Which means that it's not...
If I clip this into its own video, that whole section is just going to be removed.
Not true, which means that it isn't correct.
Yeah.
And finally...
And now we're going to get into the real purpose of this video.
We arrive at the bizarre statement C. A rectangle has vertices that are different sizes.
Yeah.
And this is the one that caused the most arguments in the original post. Some just expressed surprise at a technical word like vertices being used on a first grade assignment.
Yeah, like I said earlier, we've never used the term... I've never heard the term vertex until after first grade.
And the fact that it would have made a lot more sense for the statement to be about angles.
Yeah.
On the other hand, there's nothing technically wrong about asking if the vertices have different sizes. It's just a surprising question.
Yeah.
One of the important characteristics of rectangles is the one which differentiates them from squares.
Yeah, the square is a rectangle because it has right angles, but the thing that makes a square different from all other quadrilaterals is that I actually forgot the technical term for polygons that all have equal sides and equal angles. Is it a perfect polygon or was it something else? Because a square would be an example of that because its sides and its angles are all equal.
Which is a rectangle can have edges that are different sizes. So it could be the purpose of this statement is just to make sure students
You're getting close to the end of January and then February, the last month of summer, yeah.
Aren't confusing vertices with sides or edges. Though most people didn't seem to think that was the case.
Yeah, that'll be where spring begins for us.
Indeed, there was a whole lot of arguing.
Yeah.
I think it's a trick question. Vertices don't have
regular polygons. Yes, that's what it is. Okay.
size. I would bet a lot they mean angles of different sizes. Okay, but
I figured it was regular. It was either regular or it was perfect.
the text referred to vertices, so it's still wrong. The kid needs to evaluate the actual sentence, not intended writing. It's a child's homework, not a
It's not a legal text. Well, it may as well be if you're going to get this heated about it.
legal text. You have to go by what the teacher intended. They will not get bonus points for actually their teacher. The
Can I do that?
kid's college admission committee is not going to see their grade on this.
No
Answer
kidding.
it as written. Yes, I know it's not a legal text, but if
But it is a legal text because I said so.
they assume vertice to mean angle or any other concept, they're essentially changing the proposition. I'm not saying the teacher should be precise, but they need to be.
Well, here's the thing. The teacher isn't necessarily the one that might be administering this test or this thing. They could be getting it from a textbook, and the people that make the textbooks would be the ones that have to, clarify.
Clear. Well said. A lot of people see.
And this is actually something that my biology teacher once brought up. I remember her talking about how the textbooks don't necessarily tell you everything that you should know about a certain topic. So she had a habit of going off the book, but she still technically had to go with whatever the book says because that's how they would have been tested.
seem to state the intended meaning of the question as if it's obvious. It means that the angles in the vertices are different sizes, or vertices should actually be edges. And then this guy said that this isn't actually homework for a 6-year-old. So
They're at a special school for super smart kids.
I guess OP's in luck.
I don't know.
It turns out that their 6-year-old doesn't actually have this math homework.
Wait.
Because this guy said so.
Okay, so we're taking this other guy's word for it.
Really, I think I agree with this guy. Why is everyone trying to recontextualize the question? It says size.
It says size and it means size.
Means size. It says vertices. It probably means vertices. Do the vertices of a rectangle have different sizes? No.
No.
But we should consider it from several perspectives just to make sure we're not missing anything. In
Yeah.
classical Euclidean
Oh, here we go.
geometry, one of the axioms is that
The whole is greater than its part.
the whole is greater than the part.
Well, yeah.
If we have a line segment, for example, certainly the size of the whole segment is greater than the size of some part
Yes.
of the line. A point, on the other hand, like a rectangle
It's just a part of that rectangle, but it's
is
not the rectangle.
defined to be that which has no parts.
It has no
and
parts.
This makes pretty clear the intuitive sense
It is a part, technically.
that a vertex has no size.
Yes.
Or we might say it has a size of 0. If
Oh, okay, I see.
it had any size
Right. We use like these dots just for visual reference. A point obviously has no size, but we still use it for that purpose.
other than 0, then it could have some smaller part, just like the line segment that's smaller than it. And we know that a vertex can have no part. Then, since every vertex has size 0, clearly the vertices of a rectangle do not have different sizes.
Yep.
We could also take a graph theory perspective. In a polygon, the only thing that makes these vertices special is that there are places where two sides meet. However, they're all still just points, and each side of a polygon is made up of infinitely many points. In graph theory, the vertices and the sides or edges that join them are very different things. In the field of graph theory, edges cannot exist without vertices because the sole purpose of an edge is to join a pair of vertices.
Oh, okay, I see where he's going with that.
Hence, in graph theory, this edge is just as good as this one.
Oh, yeah.
These two
You prefer your geometry not Euclidean. Thank you very much. Okay.
graphs
Spins on your own axis until they see you on 180 degrees.
are the same. They're each just a pair of vertices joined by an edge.
Yeah.
And in graph theory, the word size refers to the number of edges in a graph.
Okay.
Hence, the size of this graph is 4. The vertices in a graph, though, also get their own special measure called a degree.
Okay, so I'm guessing this is different from the degrees of an angle.
The degree of a vertex is the number of edges it's touching.
Oh, so that has 2 degrees.
The degree of this vertex, then, is 2.
Okay.
In a polygon, a vertex
Okay, so what about that star? What are the degrees of all of its sides? Or its
is just where
vertices?
two
Well, actually, he mentioned that there are only 5 vertices to that one star.
sides meet, end of story. But in graph theory, a vertex may be the meeting point of many different
Yes.
edges. The degree of this vertex now is 3. If we look at a rectangle as a graph, it's what's called a 4 cycle, because it's a cycle consisting of 4 vertices and 4 edges. And the degree of each vertex in this 4 cycle is 2, which again shows that even in this context, the vertices of a rectangle do not have different sizes, or in this case, degree. And I suppose that's enough for me to say, no, the vertices of the rectangle are not different sizes. Since this is not true, it is correct. Except
Wait, oh no.
graph, the vertex set is just a set of objects.
Oh, hell no.
Which are then related in pairs by the edges. What if
Okay.
the 4 objects in the vertex set are graphs of different sizes, and then the edge set joins these 4 graph vertices
Okay, I see.
to form a rectangle, and then each vertex, since it's a graph, has a size, and like we said, the graphs in the vertex set have different sizes, and so then actually the
Yeah. Okay, not quite what I had in mind.
Vertices,
When it
right?
comes to vertices of different sizes, I just figured making the dots bigger.
rectangle could
Okay, I had fun with that, but I had trouble with it at the same time. Here, we'll leave that real quick. But, I'm gonna be right back. I have to go to the bathroom. Okay, I'm back. Let me see. I'm still no, I yawned like I just noticed this name down here, Hatsune Meko. That's very nice. No, I yawned like 4 times in rapid succession, so I must be very tired. Like, I've noticed that happening for like in Wednesdays in particular. It's always the Wednesdays that seem to be the slowest in terms of streaming. But let's see if we can... Actually, I don't know if I'd want to look at that video. I saw this... Here. You know what? Okay, here, let's just check it out anyway and see if I can comment on it at all.
Proof that...
This is proof that 1 equals 2. This guy has actually made a video just like this before, but I don't remember if it was him that made it. One of them made a video like this before, but I don't remember the context. But I should sleep early, but also at 2 a.m. If you ever get dehydrated, your headaches, yeah, I know that.
1 equals...
Yeah, I've had that. Well, actually, what usually happens is that I will get headaches sometimes whenever I play DDR, and then I try to drink a lot of water. The navel of the week. I always thought it was hump day because of the hump of a camel, but sometimes I do get headaches whenever I play DDR, and they usually go away after I lie down for an extended period of time. I find that what often happens is that if I do try to drink a lot of water in order to, like, I guess refresh myself, I usually end up going to the bathroom quite a bit because my body doesn't seem to want to use the water for anything. It just thinks that it's wasted. So it gets very annoying in that context, but no, I'm kind of, right now I'm kind of just forcing myself to drink water. Honestly, if worse comes to worse, we can just, I can probably spend another hour of the stream just, let's say grinding for the Ice Titan and KH. But I want to see, it's a math joke that proves that 1 is equal to 2.
Equals 2, math mean. Okay, this right here is a very classic proof that 1 equals 2.
Yes, I remember, you get that sometimes as well. Okay, the playback speed is good.
We know 1 is not equal to 2, so we're going to investigate what went wrong.
Let's see, so what went wrong? What went wrong was that a customer took a bite of his Krabby Patty and he found that there was no cheese.
By the way, if you haven't seen the original video from the screenshot, you should definitely do so. I will have the link in the description.
Okay, let's see. We have A is equal to B. A squared is equal to AB. And so A squared minus b squared is equal to ab minus b squared. Okay, so far so good. And then here we factor it out, and it's a different. This is a difference of 2 squares, and here we just factor out one of the b's. I think something might have we divide a minus b on both sides, and so we get a plus b is equal to b. And then because a is equal to b, we get b plus b is equal to b. So therefore 2b is equal to b, and so 2 is equal to 1. It would not taste good with no cheese. So you better get the manager on the. You better get the Krusty Krab manager to get you some cheese.
Convenience.
Okay, I think. Well, I think him highlighting these in red might be what we're looking for.
Here we go. We are going to start off with the assumption that a is equal to b, and then we are going to multiply both sides by a.
Yeah.
So a times a gives us a squared, and a times b will leave it as ab. Then we are subtracting b squared to both sides.
Yeah.
Now notice that the left-hand side is a difference of 2 squares.
Yeah, we could factor that out
So we can
that
factor
way.
it, and we get a plus b times a minus b. On the right-hand side, we have b and b squared. We can factor our common factor b, and then we get b times a minus b.
And then we can cancel out the a minus b on both sides by dividing.
Now, we have a minus b on both sides. We can cancel them out. And we get
No, I am like genuinely curious to see where the problem
a
is.
plus b equals b. Then we notice that a, by the original assumption, it's the same as b. So I will replace the a with the b, and then keep the rest the same. Then we see b plus b is 2b.
And then you divide b on both sides. Or you divide
Once
b
again,
on
we
one
see
side.
b on both sides, right? Can some
Yes, just like that.
cancel out.
And then we
end up
get
with
2
is
is equal to 1.
And there you go. That is the proof. So, what went wrong? If you haven't seen this right here, definitely pause the video and think about it.
No, maybe I should. No, that's something that I want to do with these kinds of math reactions, is that I want to try to solve them on my own, but I don't know if I have the mental energy to be able to do it. I mean, I didn't have the mental energy to play DDR effectively last night. I don't know if I'd be able to do it myself. Well, he already had this in red and that in red before he was crossing it out and stuff and all that. I don't exactly know where the problem lies.
And I'm going to reveal the problems.
Yeah, I don't think I have the mental energy to figure it out.
That's right here. Ready? So this is okay, this is okay, this is okay, this is okay, but from here to here.
Okay, I figured that it would be that. No, in the back of my mind, I figured that it might be this step that could be the problem.
Is not okay. So this right here is.
Oh, wait. No, I figured it out. Yes. All right. The way that you're supposed to factor, there is a way to factor this out. But what you need to do is you need to put everything on one side. So basically, you keep this as it is. You take this and subtract it. So a plus b times a minus b times a minus b. And then you factor out an a minus b. Yes. So it would be a minus b times a plus b minus b. And that, I think that's how it's supposed to be done. Like, I could get, like, you know what? I said that I would do this. Here, let me... No. Yes. Here. I said that I wanted to do this live, and we're doing it live. Unfortunately, this isn't a very practical way to do it. I wish I had... My brother has a drawing pen, but I don't really feel like doing that right now. Here, let me write down the original. You see how impractical that this is? Here, let me try this, but let me zoom it in, shall we? And I should probably decrease the size of the brush stroke. Can I do that, though? Is there an option that allows me to decrease its size? I want to see how we actually solve this, if we can. Okay, you know what? This will actually do. A plus B. You've done pain when you were at school. You remember there at primary. Okay, actually this might work. A plus B times A minus B. Here, let me zoom this back out to, let's try 500. Is equal to B times A minus B. No, don't do that. Okay, let me actually zoom it out more. Oh, it's already at that. You subtract this, so we get A plus B. So we get this. And then we subtract that. This needs to be better distinguished. There, that works. Okay, that looks like a half note, but I don't care. I'm just trying to do this right. So A minus B. This is how it should be, and then you set this equal to 0. And then you factor, and then you continue to factor it. And then you factor out an A minus B. So A minus B, we'll do this. And then we'll put brackets. And then we have to put more parentheses, which is why I have the brackets. Minus B. And this is all equal to 0. And then this is how you're able to do it. Props to the absolute bees who make incredible pieces with the mouse on MS Paint. You're reminding me of that one hyper-realistic Santa. Oh, I just noticed there's a winter storm warning. Okay, actually, I probably shouldn't have popped that up, but I'll figure it out later. Okay, and so this is how it's supposed to be done. And then with this, the distributive property, well, it doesn't work here, but this would cancel out. A minus B. And then this would be equal to 0. And since both of the... I figured it out! And since both of these are equal to each other, that means this whole thing equals 0. 0 times A is equal to 0. 0 times anything is 0, so therefore, there we go. And then that checks out. And there we go. This is how you're supposed to solve it. Yo, let's go. No, I've been meaning to do this kind of stuff on stream many times. So yeah, this was the original. If I can... Okay, there. That's much better. So yeah, we have this right here. You gotta subtract this whole thing so that it's like that. And then you factor out an A minus B so that it's there, leaving the A plus B minus B. The B's cancel out. And so we have A minus B times A is equal to 0. Since A and B are equal to each other, they pretty much cancel out into 0. And A and anything times 0 is equal to 0. And so there we go. There, we figured it out. I hope I'm getting extra credit for this.
Is bad. Why?
Yeah.
We got rid of the A minus B on both sides, so technically what we're doing is dividing both sides by A minus B like this. However, if you look back to the original assumption, we know that
Oh, yes, that's division by 0. That's what's happening here. Because they're equal and they're being subtracted. There we go. Okay, I didn't even need to do all of that. This already equals 0. Anything times 0 is 0.
A is equal to B. Bring the B to the other side. That means A minus B
Is equal to 0. Yes, okay, so that's just division by 0.
So
that's why the proof doesn't work.
we are dividing A minus B on both sides.
Okay, I didn't even think about that. I was just trying to solve it using other methods, but the fact that division by 0 is being brought up here just, yeah.
In fact, we are dividing 0 to both sides.
Yeah, and you can't divide by 0. It's undefined.
And this right here is not okay. You might be wondering why though. Let me give you an actual number example. So for example, we know that 5, let's do like this.
Let's do it like this instead.
2 is equal to 1. Okay, we know that 2 times 0 is equal to 0.
Yes.
1 times 0 is equal to 0. So, can I say 2 times 0 is equal to 1 times 0? So far, so good, because this is 0, this is also equal to 0. However, can I just get rid of the 0 by dividing 0 to both sides?
No, you can't do that.
No, because if you do this, you
get
end up with 2 is equal to 0, and this is problematic, of course.
Yeah.
So, we cannot divide it by 0. So, this right here.
Yeah, there are a number of reasons why you can't divide by 0. It's one of those trust me bro kind of things, but there are proofs to why it's undefined.
Not allowed. And in fact, there's also another step that's at dividing by 0. Right here, if you look at this equation, 2b is equal to b. If you just forget about everything else.
Okay.
Right? In order for this equation to be true, I will tell you, b has to be equal to 0.
Yeah.
Right? 2 times a number is equal to a number itself. That's only true when the number is 0. So when we get rid of the b on both sides, again, this is just as bad as this, because we're dividing by 0.
Once again.
No good. So technically, this is also a bad step.
This is all just... Yeah.
But nobody really talked about it.
Nobody told you about it.
It's wrong already, so why bother with that, right? So that's pretty much it. So this involves dividing by 0. It's a very classic proof that 1 is equal to 2. Of course it's not, so don't ever do this. Now let me give you guys another quick one to see if you guys can figure out.
Okay, here, let's actually try to figure it out then.
The mistake. It's not divided by 0.
Okay, but it's not division by 0.
Check this out.
Let's see if we can figure it out.
So this is what we know. Firstly, I will tell you 1 to the first power is equal to 1.
Yeah.
Obviously. And if I do 1 to the second power, that's also equal to 1.
That is also 1, yes. Because it's being multiplied by itself.
1 times 1. Of course, that's equal to 1. Now, because this is equal to 1, that's also equal to 1. So, can I say that 1 to the first is equal to 1 to the second? Yes. Now, here is the deal.
And now, let's see. Division by 0 only makes sense if you're talking about limits. Yes.
Notice that the bases are the same, right? This is
Yeah, well, actually, it depends. Like, if you're trying to find the limit as x approaches 0 of 1 over x, if you're doing it from the negative side, it goes to negative infinity. But if you're doing it from the positive side, it goes to positive infinity. But because both of those are two different outcomes, that limit does not exist.
This 1, this space is 1. So, that should mean that the exponents have to be equal.
Oh, that's right. Because one of the properties of exponents is that if you have an equation and the bases are the same, then you could technically put them together. Although it kind of depends.
We can conclude that 1 equals 2. And here we go.
I could solve this, but that might be a bit beyond my pay grade. But I do also wanted to look at this, why 0 to the 0 equals 1 is so controversial. Because one of the things that he mentions with regards to 0 to the 0 is that it has no agreement. Because when you take a number to the power of 0, it equals 1. But if you take 0 to the power of any number, that equals 0. So, is 0 to the 0 1? Or is it 0? Because if you take the limit as x approaches 0 of 0 to the x, that limit approaches 0. But if you take the limit as x approaches 0 of x to the 0, that limit approaches 1. But if you take the limit as x approaches 0 to x to the of x to the x, that approaches 1. So in my mind, the answer should be 2/3 because 2 of the 3 answers reaches 1. But let's go ahead and see why it's controversial.
Why is 0 to the 0th power equals 1 so controversial? I just heard some people saying it was controversial, and I was just wondering why people debate about this. Because the property, zero exponent property, just states that anything that's raised to the power of 0 will always be 1. So, how is this debated?
I just explained it, but I want to hear I want to see the professional explain it.
Here is my take on this.
Yeah.
First, I would like to tell you that 0 to the 0th power is not equal to 1. And in fact, I'm also not going to tell you 0 to the 0th power is undefined.
Yeah.
No, none of that.
I don't remember what we were told that 0 to the 0 is in school. I think we were told that it's undefined, but...
I'm going to tell you, this is my response. 0 to the 0th power...
But he says that there's no agreement.
As no agreement. This is the best response, not answer though. This is the best response that I can give you for 0 to the 0th power. Which is also pretty bad because you still don't know what it is.
Yeah,
right?
we don't know what it is.
For example, if I want to tell you what 1 divided by 0, that is undefined. I can firmly tell you that's the answer. But for this, I will
it's just
only
one of
say
those
0 to the
things.
0th power.
And this is also one of the indeterminate forms when finding the limits of such equation, of some
no
expressions.
Agreement. And that's why this right here is so controversial. I'm going to present the cases why this is the situation.
Yeah. I mean, the best way to do it is by using limits, but...
The second thing I want to tell you before we do that is that I'm not going to talk about any calculus related
Okay, I just talked about the calculus, but I guess we're going to do this a different way.
topics here. So no limit, no indeterminate forms, none of that in this video, because we'll just be looking at 0 to the 0th power as an arithmetic question.
Yes.
Just like 2 to the 3rd power. You are not going to do calculus with 2 to the 3rd power,
Yeah,
right?
you don't need to do that. You just have to kind of know it.
Maybe you could.
You could
know
if
how
you
to do
wanted
it.
to, but I'm not going to do that.
But anyways, let me present a case that why people say anything raised to the 0th power is equal to 1.
Yeah, that's something that I'm sure some people would be confused by, but there are proofs as to why most numbers to the power of 0 are 1. And it also applies to 0 factorial as well.
Yes, 2 to the 0th power is equal to 1. But why though?
It has to do with, like, it has to do with, like, pattern recognition.
The key right here is perhaps you can observe some pattern first.
Yes.
If you look at 2 to the 3rd power, here's the deal. If the exponent is a
Yes, I know where he's going with this. Like, 2 to the 3rd power is 8. If you divide that by 2, you get 4, which is 2 to the 2nd power. And if you divide that by 2, you get 2, which is 2 to the 1st power. And if you divide that by 2, then you get 1, which hypothetically would be 2 to the 0th power.
The whole number.
And then 2 to the negative 1st. And then if you divide that by 2, you get 1/2, which would be 2 to the negative 1st power. And then you can do that over and over again.
This tells you
Induction.
how many times we have to write down the base and then multiply them.
Yeah.
So write down the...
And the same logic also applies to factorials, where you have like 3 factorial is 1 times 2 times, or 3 times 2 times 1. And then you divide that by 3 to get 2 factorial, which is 2 times 1. And then you divide that by 1 to get 1 factorial, and then divide that by 1 in order to get 0 factorial.
2 3 times, multiply them, we get 8. And we can do the same thing for 2 to the 2nd power. 2 times 2, get 4.
Yes, and you have
If you have
to, and
2
you
to the first
keep, and you
power-
continue dividing.
Same thing, it's just 2. Done. But you see, this definition is not going to work if you have 0 exponent. If you want to say, write down 2 0 times,
How do you do that? You just don't write it at all.
that means this right here will be the answer. Blank.
Blank. It's just nothing. It's not even 0.
Of course, you never leave blank in a math question, never. You have to write something about it.
You have to
can
say something.
say like undefined or it has no solution, something like that.
Yeah.
Don't
The
bother.
different degrees of answers. There's undefined. There's does not exist. There's no solution. There's no real solution in the sense that a solution does exist in the complex world, and then there's no solution whatsoever even in the complex world. He made a video about that though,
doesn't work.
but it's a really old one.
But in fact, we do have an answer for this right here. How do we figure out? The key is to figure out a pattern.
Yeah,
Look,
the pattern recognition.
3, 2, 1, 0. On the right hand side, to go from 8 to 4, we can do
Divide
this
by
as
2.
dividing by 2.
And then you just do that over and over again.
Continue. 4 divided by 2, that gives us the 2. And we can
Yes, and that's how you get 1.
do the same
And
thing.
you can do this with literally any number as the base, regardless of what the exponent is. Well, except for 0,
2
which we
divided by
will
2 is
discuss.
legitimate, and we know that it's equal to 1.
Mhm.
Therefore, we define 2 to the 0th power to be 1.
And then you can keep going. Divide that by 2, you get 1/2 negative, or 2 to the negative 1. Divide that by 2, you get 1/4, which is 2 to the negative 2, and then so on and so forth.
And
like I said, this also applies to factorials.
this reasoning works for any number as long as the base is not 0.
Yeah.
You can have 17 to the 0th power, that will also give you 1
Yeah.
by doing the same thing. Now, the problem is that what if the base happens to be 0?
Yeah.
Let's try. If we have 0 to the 3rd power,
It's just 0 times 0 times 0, but it's another one of those division by 0 problems.
yes, positive whole number, write down this many times, so 0 times 0 times 0, we get 0.
Yep.
Continue, 0 square. 0
And I'm
times
guessing that's where he's going with it.
0,
So you would think that it would be undefined anyway, but
0 to the 1st, works okay, 0. Now, it looks like all the results, as long as the base is equal to 0, all the results are just 0, right? But what if the base is 0 and the power is also equal to 0?
and this is where it comes in.
If you establish a fact or result earlier, anytime we have base being equal to 0,
The
to a
answer is
power,
usually
the
0.
result is 0. Then in this case, 0 to the 0th power should be 0. That's pretty nice, right? Just always write down 0, just draw a bunch of circles. Why not?
Just draw a bunch of circles.
But-
Well, they're more like ovals, but you get the point.
Is this correct? Because if you write this down, it contradicts with what we just said earlier. Anything raised to the 0th power is equal to 1, right? However, if you take a look at what we did earlier, from here to here we divided by 2. Can we do the same thing to go from here to here? Yes, 3, 2, 1, 0. 0 do what will give you 0?
You
Can
don't-
we really say that is the same as dividing by 0?
No. I mean, you could say that it's multiplying by 0, but
We can never divide it by 0, that I know. 1 divided by 0 is undefined.
yeah.
Just like 0 divided by 0 is undefined. So we cannot use this to argue this result or pattern anymore. Cannot say do not put down divided by 0 anymore like that. Doesn't work. So, what is it though? When we have 0 to the 0th power, are we just going to take this right here?
Yeah, do we take
So-
that, or do we take its own?
The answer is equal to 1. Or are we going to say 0 to the 0th power because the base is 0? So reach, like when we have a power, the result should be 0. I think this is perhaps the first step that we run into. Is like, oh, okay,
Okay.
we start to see some arguments or
One or the other.
controversies right here. And
But using calculus and limits, you could make the argument that it's 2/3.
I think that's what the starting of making this controversial.
Okay, that's that. Alright, I have time for like 1 or 2 more videos, but I might end it early just because I'm kind of very tired, which is very, very unfortunate because I feel like that I'm not being the best that I could be, but sometimes you gotta roll with the punches. But let's go ahead. I had this. No, this video was uploaded just today. It's been a while since we took a look at a Wang video. The last one that we looked at was about one of the faces of 4chan being the Guy Fawkes anonymous mask. And here, we're going to look at something called the Cult of Shaq Fu in reference to Shaquille O'Neal, which I've never heard of this. This is my first time hearing about it, and I'm very eager to see exactly what it entails. Hopefully I'll be able to actually comment on this, even though I know literally next to nothing about whatever the hell Shaq Fu was supposed to be. But all I know is that Shaquille O'Neal, a lot of things, he's very big, and his hands are very big. Like, I have this water bottle. A water bottle would literally be half the size. Whenever you yawn a lot, probably. Like, what was it? This meme video of Shaq trying to use items that are just somehow much smaller than him, like a water bottle that's like half the size of his hand. But before we get started, if you're watching this on YouTube, be sure to check out Wang's original video and all that, and then come back for this one. And let's go ahead and check out what this Cult of Shaq is.
Throughout history, there's been a lot of different video games that have gotten the title of worst game of all time. One that comes to mind...
Oh, wait. So we're talking about a video game?
Is E.T. for the Atari 26.
E.T., that's right. I know the story of E.T. Like, when it first came out for the Atari, nobody really liked it. And a lot of people brought all of their E.T. cartridges together and buried them out in the middle of the desert. I don't remember what state it was. It was either Arizona or somewhere around that part. Shake Your Booty song. Shaq Fu is that it was an SNES game. Okay, so that I figured that it would be. I didn't realize that it was going to be some sort of video game. But I do know that regarding the... No, this is something that happens to me. Like, I'll read a message in chat, and then it makes me lose my train of thought. God, I need more chatters. Is this about that game? I don't know. But, yeah, I do know the story of this. Like, a bunch of people buried it in the middle of the desert somewhere in the U.S., and then it only got rediscovered within the last 2 decades. And when people found out about it, they were like, wait, when did this happen? Yeah, you have an Atari t-shirt.
100, released in December of 1982. The game was such a disaster that some held E.T. singularly responsible for the crash of the American video game industry.
Really?
1983, taking up space in warehouses and eventually a landfill in New Mexico.
Yes, it was New Mexico, and people just found it and were like, what are all of these doing here?
In reality, though, the game was the victim of a lot of external factors.
Oh, yeah?
And you'll see comments around from...
This was my absolute favorite game as a kid. I admit, I sometimes needed to ask my mom to help me because she was an absolute wizard at getting E.T. out of those fucking holes. But the rest of it was just getting all the pieces to his little phone home machine, avoiding the government baddies. And I, with my mom's help, did manage to get E.T. home. More than once. It makes me kind of sad that this game is only known for being such a total disaster, because I really have nothing but fond memories of playing it. I can imagine people liking games that others would consider bad, which is why something that I don't think I've ever mentioned on stream yet that I've been wanting to tell for a long time is that I don't usually like to make people feel bad for liking things that I might not. This is gonna sound weird, but I'd much rather you like something that I don't like than dislike something I also dislike. I don't know what it is. I just don't like it. I low-key don't like it when people just hate on things, even though there are plenty of people that like those things. I don't know why I'm like that. Like, even if you and I dislike the exact same thing, I don't want to hear you talk shit about it. I don't know what it is or why I'm like that. That's just, it could be because I was raised never to backtalk. I don't like, I'm very mild-mannered and reserved. I don't like talking back at people because whenever I do, even if I'm justified in talking back, they will be the ones that tell me that I'm in the wrong. And so, especially when it comes to like authority figures, even though I've wanted to lash out at some individuals more than once.
Who played the game as kids and actually enjoyed it a lot. Far from the actual worst game. Another commonly lampooned title is Superman 64.
Oh yes, I know about this game too.
Also a victim of outside circumstances, this might actually be the worst game of all time.
Is it?
Probably
even worse than like what was the other thing that some worse than even the Zelda CDI games?
Immediately goes to those godforsaken rings,
yeah,
which became a bit more of a meme around the time of its release. Originally intended just for a tutorial thing to get used to the game's horrible controls.
Really? So this is just a tutorial?
The rings became a
What exactly does the game even
core gameplay element that
what does the backtalk mean? Like when someone's talking, like when someone is talking to you and then you talk back to them in a stern voice, basically. Like when a parent is talking to their kid and then their kid says something back to the parent in a very mean tone, and it's like, don't talk back at me like that. It's something like that.
Almost anything remotely interesting they'd have Superman do.
I'm surprised you don't know what that means.
Were told Superman wouldn't do that. But then halfway through development of this game, which was originally inspired by Tomb Raider.
Was it really inspired by Tomb Raider?
They were told that the game should be like SimCity and Superman should be
the
mayor of Metropolis, because, you know, that's something Superman
Wait, is that actually how the game works?
Dude. The end result was a textureless, featureless, boring game with bad controls.
So wait, so this wasn't a tutorial?
Ironically, in some ways, making it resemble a 3D version of the average Atari game. And then we got so we're actually here today, Shaq Fu.
Shaq Fu.
It's 1994.
Dual Story Tournament.
Or it's an
yeah. Later stages of Superman 64 just mid. The control is horrible.
This game for many reasons, and in a lot of ways, it's a foundational video game in early internet culture.
Is it?
This game.
I've never heard of this game, so I wouldn't know. Is it? It said it's on the SNES. You said, was this available on like the Wii's Virtual Console?
Nowhere near as bad as.
Oh yeah, I guess you were a good kid.
These other titles would get memed into being thought of as one of the worst games of all time. So much so, there came to be an organization dedicated to ridding the world of this game's
oh lord, you would have been very young.
Evil, one cartridge at a time.
Okay, so they wanted this to go the way of the ET game.
Ladies and gentlemen, this is the story of the Shaq Fu Liberation Front.
The Shaq Liberation Front? That's an interesting way to go about it. And then this this little image of Shaq here.
This video is...
Well, if they wanted to erase this from living memory, it's no wonder I've never heard it.
Sponsored by Helix. You spend a third of your life in bed, so why settle for anything less than the best? That's where Helix comes in. Helix.
Okay, if you guys check out the original video, you guys can check out his sponsor, but let's go ahead and move on.
Really can't be understated how big of a deal Shaq was in the early to mid-90s.
Yeah, he's still kind of a big deal. No, freaking his little Papa John's Shaq-a-roni, which I've never... yeah, his little Shaq-a-roni pepperoni pizza. I've never had it, mostly because as I've mentioned on a few occasions, I don't whenever I ask for light sauce on my pizza, it's usually not light enough.
He was a movie star, the face of Taco Bell, the face of Pepsi.
Was he?
See,
what, Liberation Front.
I remember one time in school, we got this worksheet, and it had a section about Shaq where they called him the Shaq.
Wait, why are you learning about him in school? Unless it was some sort of gym class.
I spelled it like he was in your backyard made out of wooden planks.
Shaq. Oh, that spelling. S-H-A-C-K as opposed to S-H-A-Q.
So naturally, he would join the ranks of Home Improvement, Lawnmower Man, and Fido Dido in getting his own licensed video game.
Okay, so it was just another one of those types of games. Like Mike Tyson's You've had pepperoni pizza. It's nice. Like that Mike Tyson Punch-Out game, right?
You might expect this to be a basketball game, like Barkley's Shut Up and Jam, which was
Shut Up and Jam
earlier that year in 1994. And originally, Shaq Fu was supposed to be a basketball
Okay.
game. But then
So it got an entire redesign into... I'm guessing this is a fighting game.
Development, Shaq became a fan of Mortal Kombat and decided that he wanted a fighting game of his own.
Really? So that's what happened? Oh, and I just remembered the Michael Jackson game that exists as well.
Thus, Shaq Fu as we know it was born.
Good lord, imagine that.
It would eventually get a reputation as one of the worst games of all time,
Uh.
and it was by no means a great game.
I wonder how Shaq himself felt about it, because I know that with regards to Michael Jackson, he didn't like the way that the SNES it was the Sega something. It was either Sega Genesis or it was some other Sega console. Michael Jackson didn't like the way his music sounded on the console. And so when it came time for Sonic 3, he didn't want his name within the credits.
I actually did kind of enjoy it. I'd gotten it for Christmas that year, bundled with what would be the first CD I...
Because, like, he was Mike Tyson's Punch-Out, yeah. Because I know that Michael Jackson and people affiliated with them were heavily involved within Sonic 3's soundtrack.
Ever owned in my life. A sampler of Shaq's upcoming album named Shaq Fu The Return.
When the hell did he have an album?
Funny enough, the kanji on the cover of the Shaq Fu album, while pronounced Fu...
Wait.
...was not the right symbol for the martial art he was referencing.
Oh.
Which honestly might have been kind of fitting, looking at the strange mishmash of cultural inaccuracies.
Oh my god, no, I want to see...
in the game, Shaq Fu.
Yeah, there's also Sonic 3. Yeah, I know that.
The game itself had some issues with the controls. Movement was way too slow. The jumps were super floaty and weird, making it a choice.
It sounds like when Osaka team makes a Kingdom Hearts game, people complained about the floaty combat.
Safely get close enough to your opponent to do damage. But it wasn't unplayable, and I definitely played worse.
Oh.
When you're a kid before emulation or Steam sales, you're basically going to play the fuck out of whatever games you have.
Yeah, pretty
I put
much.
hours into the Hunt for Red October on NES.
Oh,
so
yeah.
Shaq Fu is no problem.
I wonder... I remember putting a lot of time into games like Ocarina of Time and Wind Waker. Oh no, I had a legitimate Wind Waker addiction.
For what it's worth, the game actually did have some really nice animation for the time.
Yeah, that does look nice.
The legacy of Shaq Fu hate would carry on from the pages of EGM and make its...
Yeah, you can use Knuckles. Yeah, I like that as well. But I always like to play as Tails.
Way onto the early internet, where it was widely considered one of, if not the worst game of all time. Yet there are a lot of people who had experiences with it that were similar to mine. And when you see that the universal opinion is going one way that you don't necessarily agree with, some people get a compulsion to go all the way to the other extreme.
Sounds like modern politics.
Even if it's a bit of an exaggeration. This takes us to GameFAQs, which become the home of a group called the Shaq Fu Alliance.
Okay, here we go. A bunch of pre-adolescents from GameFAQs that joined together to pretend like this shitty game that none of them has ever played. These guys don't look pre-adolescent at all.
So
they look post-adolescent.
GameFAQs at one point was the heart of internet gaming culture.
I bet it
to this day,
was.
it's notable in that it has content for basically every single video game that has ever existed.
And a lot of them, no, this site is old as hell, and there's guides going back decades.
Including full guides, sometimes even for games that were never officially released.
Really?
The feature is that each of these games has its own forum.
Yep.
And if a game's forum was particularly dead, such as basically every game released before the invention of the site,
Heh.
a group with enough motivation could take over the forum for themselves. A mini online colony of sorts. And in 2002, that was precisely what happened to Shaq Fu. As the users found their way to the GameFAQs Shaq Fu forum, many would become members of the Shaq Fu Alliance. And the Alliance would soon become a nuisance throughout the wider GameFAQs forum.
Oh no, so they became a troll-type community?
Trolling other games.
Okay, so I figured.
While spreading the gospel of Shaq Fu.
Yes.
For many, though, it was...
hello there. Might I interest you in talking about Shaq Fu?
Clear whether or not these people actually like Shaq Fu or if they were just being ironic.
I don't
Although
know.
pretty much all of the posts pertaining to the early days of the group have been lost to time. A retrospective by Stephen Wright for the website Uppercut shines some light on the matter.
Okay, and the Shaq Fu and the strange afterlives of bad games. We're gonna look into the rich lives of the rich and wasteful.
In the article, he speaks to a former member named Cold Spy. Cold Spy had bought a collection of old Genesis games from eBay, which wound up including several copies of Shaq Fu. So he goes online trying to figure out how to play this incredibly obtuse fighting game.
Obtuse.
Of course, he quickly finds himself on GameFAQs, as you likely would at that time. This also meant that he would come across the Shaq Fu Alliance, and he quickly joined their ranks.
No, the fact that the fact that they call themselves the Shaq Fu Alliance.
He describes some of the early goings-on of the group to Steven. While there were some social boards like Lou, there weren't groups like the SFA. We were committed. The board was active. We put SFA in our signatures. We invaded boards before they banned us. We got modded a lot.
Oh, Lord have mercy. So this is like how, like, This reminds me of like the early days of bronies where they would go onto 4chan and just post random MLP memes and stuff, to the point to where that all the people got sick and tired of it, so they just decided to give it its own section.
The organization delighted in coining its own bizarre mythology and slang, vaulting Shaquille
Mythology, huh?
O'Neal himself.
So it really is almost like a cult.
To the status of a deity, and cursing
Oh, Lord have mercy.
late Kobe Bryant as their ultimate nemesis.
Oh no, Kobe, oh no. It's like, no. Here's the thing. If you're going to join Tyler Perry and his supremacy over Black Hollywood, you need to renounce Ice Cube and all of his works, including Friday. If you don't do that, then you can't be part of Tyler Perry's Medea movies.
To be clear, Bryant does not appear in Shaq Fu. The game's release predates his NBA career. Anyone who questioned the undying excellence of the game were called Keys and Fistonites.
No.
Unfortunate thralls of the evil Bryant. While there was certainly
I mean, didn't Kobe Bryant do unseemly... I was told that he did unseemly things with his daughter or something like that.
a strain of irony to the whole performance, Cold Spy recalls that the SFA's most devoted members actually did play the game quite a lot, and resented the harsh treatment that critics and casual players had hoisted upon it. For many it was ironic, but most of us played the game, he said. Also, Shaq was the biggest sports star in the world back then.
He still is a very big sports star.
I'm sure plenty of members were fans of his. We weren't trying to make fun of the game through intemperate praise. The group in the game went hand in hand. Even if the game wasn't a 10 out of 10.
Okay, so it's like an appreciate, so it's kind of one of those guilty pleasure kinds of things, or something like that. Plot twist for the flip. The last cartridge was found at an Evo championship, and the FGC community went from memeing to liking the game ironically as a hidden gem, huh?
It spawned the SFA, which we all enjoyed. It was like Rocky Horror Picture Show.
Oh, that. I just made that reference. It was me going on that spiel about Tyler Perry and Ice Cube is a reference to the Boondocks episode that parodied Tyler Perry with Winston Jerome, where in that episode there was a parody of the Rocky Horror Picture Show that's like, what was it? Yeah, where it's like, welcome to our lovely little compound, where it all goes down. And then Granddad was very disturbed by what he had seen, because the opening lines of this song that they were singing were, hot oil, bananas and cream, white unicorns and wet dreams.
The movie isn't great, and fans of it don't just watch it on a Tuesday night, but it spawned a whole culture. And you can't separate the movie from the midnight showings and dressing up. Of course, while the Shaq Fu Alliance was great fun for its members, it obviously drew a lot of ire from outsiders.
I bet it
Although
did.
Much of the early hate of the group is also long gone, I did manage to find this beautifully Web 1.0 tripod.
This definitely looks pretty old. How do I... Is that French? Habiter pour le moment, aucun regret. That's French for... Okay, it is French. Live for the moment. Do what you do, no regrets. I have a friend from France, and he once told me those words when I was at my darkest hour.
Site that made mention of it, Darian's World, belonging to a then 18-year-old GameFAQs poster named Darian Wild, a self-described internet troll who is also very nice and polite. It includes sections like, which is better, Wendy's or McDonald's?
I don't
Which he
know.
argues the superiority of Wendy's against his sister Jen,
Okay.
who prefers McDonald's. There's also a list of the hottest celebrities.
Okay, Jennifer Love Hewitt, who is Mort Goldman's niece.
Topped out by Sarah Thompson, Jamie Lynn Sigler, and Jennifer Love Hewitt. Based on these pics, you could tell what time this was made, even if you didn't already know. There's also an autobiographical section called The Legend of Omega Lionheart. A bit of a tangent, but it also
What the hell
gives
is
us a little
that?
insight into the kind of world that the Shaq Fu Alliance was entrenched in. The legend
So they were in like...
of Omega Lionheart spans throughout the internet. Yes, I know that sounds incredibly overdramatic,
Yeah, I don't know who this is or why they're Omega.
but I'm an egomaniac. It all started on
I'm sure you
GameFAQs,
are.
and since then has become so much more. I first started using the internet when I was about 15 or so. Actually, when I was 14, I think. I am a reactions person, as I've said many times before. So of course it fascinated me that people could be angered so easily over the internet.
He's not wrong.
After my first few bannings, I was hooked. And as time progressed, I got better and better at what I did. Eventually almost never getting modded with the help of some other users who taught me how to troll without trolling.
Troll without trolling, huh? So...
Never
I
break
don't
the
even-
TOS while still inciting flames.
Okay.
And of course, the reason we're on this site, he's also got a list of his enemies. Accompanied
And who the hell? Cold Prophecy.
pictures of what the author imagines they look like.
Oh, so
His enemies include rival trolls, various GameFAQs mods, and of course, the Shaq Fu Alliance.
okay.
The specific members named being Evil Zach, Pluto Nash, Who Cares, and DJ Skittles. The SFA, Shaq Fu Alliance, for the majority of the world who doesn't know, is a bunch of pre-adolescents from Game.
Okay, so this is just some. Okay, I thought this was an actual picture of what they look like, but I guess it's just in this. Okay.
joined together
Well, now that we have the context for what this
Tend
is.
to like this shitty game that none of them has ever played. I troll them for no other reason than because I think they're pathetic, and because I want them to get up and do something with their lives.
Says the guy who was here on the computer, basically doing trolling.
Rather than staring at the computer all day.
The irony in this statement.
You can go to their board here and see for yourselves how truly sad it is. At the same time, it's fun trolling them, so whatever.
No, that's the irony. These trolls, they're usually the ones that sit on their asses on the internet all day and talking shit about others. So, you should speak for yourself.
Though this is just one guy's opinion, it's not hard to imagine that most of the people who weren't a part of the group viewed them this way. Of course, while Shaq Fu had pockets of defenders, the overwhelming online sentiment was that this was a horrible game. So horrible that to some, it was evil and needed to be purged entirely.
It was evil and it must be
From
purged.
existence. So in 2005, a Shaq Fu hater named Saad Sadi registered the domain shaqfu.com.
Oh,
He used
Lord.
it to create the online outpost of the Shaq Liberation Front, an organization whose goal was to obtain every single copy of Shaq Fu
Oh, Lord.
and destroy it. The
Well, if I had a copy and they wanted it, then they're gonna have to pay me.
organization had a mission
I'm not wearing any pants and neither are we.
statement. Picture this, 1994. The United States was slowly moving toward the economic boom of the late 90s. It was the beginning of a golden age that would be remembered for years. At the same time, a young, powerful basketball player was in his second year in the NBA. He was becoming an instant star and served as the savior of the ailing Orlando Magic. Shaquille O'Neal. At the time, people wanted
You
to
could say they were just patrolling the. Oh, okay, Rhodey, whatever you say.
see more Shaq. They loved Shaq so much that they would do anything Shaq told them to. Shaq went on to begin his merchandising in an effort to please the needs of the people. He decided to rap, releasing the album called Shaq Fu.
Yeah.
At the time, people really enjoyed it. Shaq
No, I've never heard any of
was
this.
a big star, and just him on the stage made them giddy. He also created a video game called Shaq Fu. People enjoyed it. GamePro magazine gave the game a 4.5 overall. Riding on this high, Shaq went on to create the movies Kazam and Steel. Everything was going well for Shaq. People loved him, and Shaq loved the people. Now skip to this year. The economic boom is over, and the United States is bitter and cynical.
It's still very bitter and cynical.
Shaquille O'Neal is no longer worshipped by the people. In fact, very few people still pay attention to the NBA.
Nowadays, it's kind of like John Cena and The Rock.
Looking back, the citizens of the USA realize how awful some of Shaq's accomplishments really were. Sure, Shaq rapped, but was it really that good?
I don't
No.
know.
People say no. The movies Kazam and Steel have lost their luster. They are now considered some of the worst, hokiest movies ever to defile the screen.
And then there's the Shaq Fu video
Then,
game.
there's Shaq Fu the video game. Shaq probably has forgotten he ever created this game.
He probably has. It
Shaq
wouldn't
Fu
surprise
has
me.
to be the worst fighting game in the history of fighting games. In 1984, America could buy it. America thought it was all right, and America could tolerate it.
Okay, yeah. It's like, it's one of those things that, I guess it's one of those hype kind of games more than anything else.
Well, America, tolerate it no more. It is time for us to make up for the mistakes of the past. It is time for us to fight back against the mindless merchandising.
I mean, people are still having trouble. People have been fighting back against mindless merchandising even to this day. I mean, have you seen the price of the Switch 2? I mean, come on.
So how do we do this? ShaqFu.com's mission is to liberate all the copies of Shaq Fu from existence by buying them from anyone who owns the game, including local console retailers, eBay merchants, normal citizens, and the like. Here are the
Okay, let's see why it's important.
reasons why this is important.
Why is this important?
You prevent
This just seems such a waste of time.
generations from feeling the corruption of this game and its evil. You clear up
I was going to say, I don't understand how I mean, he's making it seem like that it was made by BET, which, by the way, stands for Black Evil Television. Look, it's not enough that this game is bad. It needs to be evil as well, so that it can corrupt the minds of young African Americans, and then BET's destruction of black people will be complete.
the enormous copies of Shaq Fu lying on the shelves in used console game stores. By doing so, you remove it from public display so that people will not be reminded of the game's existence. Purchasing many copies of the game shifts the demand schedule, consequently raising its price. Even though it costs you more money, it reduces the incentive for a non-liberator to buy the game. A worthwhile sacrifice. By getting
Well, I guess that's a sacrifice you are willing to make
it from another person, you remove the burden and embarrassment they feel.
Oh, Lord.
The reasons go on and on. Shaq Fu must be eliminated for everyone to feel at peace.
For everyone to feel at peace, including some guy in the middle of the North Sentinel Island who probably doesn't even know what a video game is, and they're making me believe that they're making the world a better place by collecting all of this.
This website discusses methods,
and these types of people have the audacity to call the people that like this game basically nerds that don't touch grass.
How to obtain copies and how to dispose and or make use of the copies obtained. It also serves as the front line for the Shaq Fu Liberation Front. Here, you'll be able to obtain current numbers of Shaq Fu copies liberated, as well as membership for the Shaq Fu Liberation Front. With your help, we may be able to obtain a Shaq Fu free world for our children to grow up in. Join today and help our cause.
Good Lord.
Of course, they also accepted donations in order to help them buy up all these copies of Shaq Fu. And a lot of readers would in fact obtain copies.
And look at all this old footage.
They would destroy themselves. But the Shaq Fu Liberation Front would also receive their fair share of hate mail. You get people saying that their mission will fail because they will never surrender their copy of Shaq Fu.
Well, yeah.
Others say, the game's not so bad, why are you being so harsh? And then a reader named Brian XL felt the need to debunk their mission statement point by point.
Okay.
What are we to understand about such statements? It seems that this entire paragraph is based solely on opinion and backed by absolutely no evidence of any kind. What surveys do we have to show the general population as bitter and cynical? Where are the ratings that indicate no one pays attention to the NBA? When have the citizens
this guy is actually making a pretty good point
of the USA looked back and had the revelation that Shaq's accomplishments weren't really that great?
Although, this person is missing spacing here and here.
Where do the people say no? Shaq's rapping was not really that good. Because Am and Steel have lost their luster? Or is it you has become dependent on the greater provisions of modern media? All this leads one to wonder how it is that you are so privy to the mind of America. How is it that you can speak so boldly, making such rash and severe claims about an entire nation? This reader also compares the group to the Nazis.
Okay, now that, I don't even know.
And he says that personally he would be honored to own such a disgusting piece of history. I would ask you to reconsider your destruction of Shaq Fu. Let us not fall into the same liberating tactics of the Holy Wars. And burn
the Holy Wars, so that's how far we're taking this? Okay, so, but this is basically the not touching grass Olympics.
Burn everything for what we perceive as worthless. The email, like the website itself, is clearly very tongue-in-cheek, a case of trolls trolling trolls. Nevertheless, the Shaq Fu Liberations Front influence grew. And then in 2009, another group was formed to stand in opposition to them. Save Shaq Fu, created by AJ and Drat. On their site, you're greeted by a table full of rescued copies of Shaq
Okay, and let me guess, they're gonna, the people that are trying to destroy these copies are gonna come over to wherever this display is being housed and do something.
Fu that resemble one of those police drug bust photos.
Oh.
Although never directly calling out the Shaq Fu Liberation Front, they make cheeky reference to it as other websites, the wrong individuals, or some groups who are hellbent on the destruction of Shaq Fu. This organization contended that owning more copies of Shaq Fu will actually make you happier. Why are they so passionate about Shaq Fu?
I don't know. Maybe if it's in mint condition, it might sell for a lot simply as a collector's item.
The author shares a story about why Shaq Fu is so near and dear to their heart. These lands we live in often give birth to life and destruction. This, my friends, is the tale of life. The tale of saving, if you will.
Oh, good Lord.
Let me take you back to a harsher time in this world. A time riddled with chaos and misdeeds.
A time of the
destruction of Shaq Fu. In the far-off time of 2008, there's a man spoken of only in legend. His name was Joseph.
He was the bearer, okay.
He was the bearer of gifts. One chill autumn.
The Shaq's Wikipedia article confirmed being 2 degrees of separation from the... Is that one of those Wikipedia game type things where you try to go from, what was it, brick to Xbox or something? There's no way.
Night.
Let me guess. You go from Shaq to Kanye, and then it goes to the Austrian painter and his fan club.
When Halloween was on the eve's prowl.
What kind of relationship does Shaq have with Kanye?
People gathered to venture to unknown lands filled with ghosts, ghouls, and gremlins. A haunted trail. A man brimming full of energy and vigor gathered a crew. People strong enough to take on this challenge.
Okay, I figured that would be the case.
His double.
We need to play the Wikipedia game at some point.
His best bro was set to be joining, Tyler. A man of great stature who would have his life changed on that fateful night. He entered the car, astonished that Joe was not there to partake in the adventure, and spoke of this with a voice full of sadness. However, after about a 20-minute drive, a fist bust through the back seat of the car, revealing a secret side hatch to the trunk. Clutched in that mighty hand was Shaq Fu. This Shaq Fu was the beginning, the gift that started the legacy, but it was not over yet. As time passed that night, the fist that did indeed belong to Joe bestowed but 7 more Shaq Fus upon Tyler, a gift of kings, and so the collection began. Now we jump
And then there's more.
forward 2 months. A cold, harsh winter. It is Christmas now, and Tyler has made his way to AJ's to enjoy.
At this point, I'm having trouble following. It's not that I'm having following. I can't speak right now. It's not that I'm having trouble following along. It's that I'm having trouble commenting on what's going on. The only thing I can think of is the not touching grass Olympics. That's all I have in my head. It's just a bunch of nerds being nerds.
A fine ceremonial gift sharing event. There they sat. 5 perfectly wrapped gifts of various sizes. Little did Tyler know that each was but a lonely Shaq Fu, waiting for a new home. As he began opening these glorious gifts, he was filled with a joy no other man has ever felt. The joy of being bestowed a golden jewel, a Shaq Fu. And thus, he became the man who owned 13 Shaq Fus. It was then...
Okay, are we just reading the rest of this? It was then at that moment that we decided we needed to get them all. We had a journey that would take a lifetime. A journey to save a man from the treacherous onslaught of a rival website that destroys Shaq Fu. We have vowed to save this man's game. Shaq Fu will be here for all to enjoy. Just knowing that each and every copy will have a new home brings happiness and fulfillment to even the loneliest of individuals. We cannot do this alone. We need the world's help in saving a legend. This is where you, the true hero, comes in. If you are reading this, you have surely come to the right place. We will bestow you with our trust that you will not destroy but save Shaq Fu by donating any copy of Shaq Fu that you can find to save it, and you will be added to our list of heroes. You will find that with each copy you send, happiness will be just one more step closer. Every man has the right to change his stars. Won't you help Shaq Fu? Won't you be his hero? Join us. United, we will bring about salvation for a legend, a Shaq Fu. And let me skip ahead to when he's just done reading. If I can find here.
United, we will bring about salvation. A Shaq Fu. Each of the rescued Shaq Fus is documented on a page called...
Lord have mercy. Imagine going out of your way to do something like this, as if it's that... making it seem like it's of cosmic importance.
The Shaq-a-log.
Shack-a-log.
Each copy with its own individual story, and the person...
What? the first of many. Okay, let me read these. Yes, Game City 360, Newport, Kentucky. Donated by Nelson Willis. The first of many. This one started it all. A gift on a fine autumn's night. This one came with the help of a fist. Came bursting through the backseat of AJ's car through the trunk. It now traverses the malls, checking out local fountains for peaceful meditation.
Each copy with its own individual...
And then the second of 7 of the originals, later in the night, this one was pulled from the trunk and thrust into the hands of Drac. A shock to all around. It is now obsessed with palm trees and tries to live amongst them where it feels like rightfully belongs. What the hell is even going on?
Story and the personality traits of each copy. One copy of Shaq...
There's being a nerd, and then there's being whatever the hell this is.
Who has an affinity for palm trees. Another Shaq Fu likes boating.
And then this one likes, porcelain dolls or something like that.
Another Shaq Fu was tortured by being forced to watch the bridges of Madison County while...
The hell?
...in captivity. The page would eventually include user submissions from around the world, including PAL copies and a Game Boy version which I didn't even know existed.
There's a kid.
Of course, by the very nature of Save Shaq Fu existing, the Shaq Fu Liberation Front could never complete its mission, and thus it would lie dormant for years. That was until 2014.
2014, damn.
It was then that a sequel to Shaq Fu was announced.
Wait, there's no way that actually happened.
Shaq Fu, A Legend Reborn.
Oh my god, there's no way. And this is a sequel of fun. It's some sort of GoFundMe?
Indiegogo campaign.
Oh, Indiegogo. There's no way. Did Shaq even sign off on this?
Was launched. In the campaign trailer, Shaq basically says that Shaq Fu sucked and he wants a chance to make something good.
To all of us.
What? Oh, so he's oh my god, no, that's crazy.
It's not gonna be like that last Shaq.
Oh my god, no way he was involved. Oh man, that's insane.
Forget that out your head.
Oh no, wait a minute. Is he gonna piss off the people that have been collecting all of those copies and stuff? You would have been 19.
Open your head up, take it out, throw it away. This new one?
I was like 14 or something.
This one would be a beat 'em up with destructible environments and all kinds of bells and whistles.
Okay.
The Shaq Fu Liberation Front was not pleased.
I bet they were. The Big D's team, I don't even know. The fact that their idol, Shaq himself, said that the game was bad, must have felt like a freaking betrayal, like blasphemy.
And they viewed the announcement of this game as, quote, an act of aggression.
I'm sure it did. Once again, it's just more nerds being nerds, and it just gets more and more insane.
Because of this, they were coaxed from their slumber to release a declaration of opposition.
Okay, so the liberators become the opposers.
In the declaration, there's a list of demands.
Really? There's no way that they have fucking demands, as if Shaq is going to listen to what some glorified Reddit mods essentially saying all of that.
1. Immediately cease and desist from developing Shaq Fu, allegedly.
Cease and desist, yeah. And Big D, oh wait. I thought you were saying, Rhodey, that you said D's Nuts team, as in like a team of players called D's Nuts, but apparently it's just a game company.
Reborn. 2. Publicly issue a formal apology. This formal apology must come from Shaquille O'Neal.
Yeah, that's never gonna happen. I'm pretty sure he doesn't even know who these people are.
And Big D's Productions. Both must apologize to the funders who naively donated to Indiegogo without fully understanding the ramifications of releasing this game. They must also release a mea culpa for all prior development.
What the hell does mea culpa mean? Let me look that up real quick. Acknowledgement of one's fault or error. Okay.
Of Shaquille O'Neal related intellectual property and negative impact it has had on the global conscious.
The global conscious. Like some guy in the bumfuck middle of India is gonna care about some fighting game from the 90s.
3. They must stop using.
But they probably don't. I bet you someone like that probably doesn't even know who Shaq is. They're probably too busy dealing with, I don't know, whatever Shudra things might be going on.
Motto: this time we won't foo it up. And acknowledge that the reason that Shaq Fu was so terrible was not the Fu, it was the Shaq.
The hell?
4. Destroy all materials used in the development of the game Shaq Fu: A Legend Reborn, including but not limited to.
They want. So, are you kidding me? They want all of the. So they want all of the stuff that was involved in the making of the game. That probably costs like thousands, if not millions of dollars to be able to produce and all that. They want all of that to be fucking destroyed just because they felt like that they were being betrayed by their god.
Laptops, computers, game consoles, cell phones, tablets, servers, hard drives, portable storage devices, optical media, and any non-electronic media.
That's such a fucking waste, though.
The destruction process will be monitored to its completion by an independent third party of our choosing.
And what exactly is this going to be?
5. Retroactively pressure Electronic Arts to destroy all materials described in term 4 used in the development of the original game Shaq Fu.
No.
6.
Be like EA is ever going to listen to that.
Contributions and inventions used to develop the game must be immediately abandoned. The term contributions and inventions are understood to include all inventions, ideas, works, modifications, processes, discoveries, techniques, designs, methods, trade secrets, technical specifications and data, know-how, show-how, concepts, expressions, creations, improvements, works of authorship, ideas, and other developments, whether or not they are patentable or copyrightable or subject to analogous protection and regardless of their form or state of development.
I don't understand what the hell this is asking for. Contributions and inventions. Tainted by the Shaq Electronics, pretty much. No, I have no idea what this 6th one is referring to. Is it like taking inspiration from pre-existing fighting games and modifying that in order to make it unique? No, this is reminding me of freaking Nintendo's patent lawsuit, or trying to patent sub-characters or summons like that. Trying to patent that so that only Nintendo could use it. That's what number 6 is reminding me of. Of course, it's not going to work because there are lots of RPGs where summoning is a core mechanic. Like, I know that's how it is in, like, Final Fantasy and Kingdom Hearts, but no, that's what it's reminding me of.
And whether or not Big D's Productions has made them alone or with others. Graciously, however, they did say that their terms were negotiable. But not only did Shaq Fu: The Legend Reborn meet its funding goal, it actually exceeded its goal.
Oh, damn. Barack Obama was a character? Why is Obama a character in this? This is Barack Obama. I traced a signal to the Black Knight satellite. That's where I was headed. I had an hour before Earth was destroyed by the
for the development of
What the hell is... What the what the hell is this? What is... Oh my god, no. This... Okay. They actually... they actually might have a point. The Shaq Fu Liberation Front might actually have a point when you have a fucking satellite that looks like a... you have a satellite that looks like a discount JJ the Jet Plane character. That's what this looks like. This looks like a JJ the Jet Plane character. And Obama... What the fuck is this? They might actually have a point. There's no way. This went from 60 to 1,000 in no time at all.
Goals, including a DLC entitled Barack Fu: The Adventures of Dirty Barry.
It's a DLC? What the hell? So there's a Barack Obama DLC. And he's doing what? Something in space? What is going on?
Which features a similar but legally distinct version of Barack Obama.
Oh no.
Sorry, baby.
Oh no, what is this?
Barack Daddy's work is never done.
No, stop. There's no way.
The game would be released in 2018. And honestly, despite the fact that I actually had this game, I got it for free from Amazon.
Did you? Damn.
I still haven't played it, so I can't say if it's any good or not.
Oh.
Although the website of the Shaq Fu Liberation Front remains active to this day, they have not yet responded to Shaquille O'Neal's further acts of aggression. So for now, that's the story of the Shaq Fu Liberation Front. If you like this video...
Okay, so that whole list of demands never really went anywhere. Okay, yeah. A bunch of people that have nothing better to do in their free time decided that they want to try to pressure a high-profile celebrity that probably doesn't even know of their existence in order to do away with some game that ended up coming out anyway. Okay, no, that ending was worth it, in all honesty. No, that ending was absurd and was insane. Unfortunately, I couldn't comment too much in the middle, but I don't care. I did my best, and that's what counts. But yeah, unfortunately, I couldn't comment. Unfortunately, tonight's stream was very, very tired for me. There weren't... I guess some people may have been busy today. It's always the Wednesday streams that are the most hit or miss, considering that it's literally the middle of the week, which I understand, but I'm just saying. I know I can do better. I can do better. I can be better. I'm trying my best to want to improve myself as a commentator and to improve myself as a streamer, but little steps. You can't win them all. I just wish I wasn't so goddamn tired. Damn. It's all, yeah, that's... Because I know I've thought about, like, revamping the streaming schedule. Like, I know I've thought about dedicating more time to the stream to just gaming stuff, but I do enjoy making this React content. But technically, there is another type of content that I've been wanting to make, but I just don't have the time to make it. With my regular job and with, like, I'm already going to be making videos out of this stream. Like, I remember to record it so that it's saved onto my computer without me having to download it, but... So, like, I was trying to do, like... At first I was trying to do, like, daily uploads, and then it was... I wanted to upload on the days that I wasn't streaming, but then I had way too many videos on my backlog, and so I tried to make it daily, and now... Either that or I just need better videos to comment on, but I still enjoyed this one in particular. But... Let's see... Yeah, it's like... Yeah, it's past 3 where you live, and it's past 4 where I live, and that means it's... There was one more video that I had lined up, but unfortunately, we don't have time to get to it. And by the time we do get to it, it'll be irrelevant, which is what usually happens with, like, commentary channels. But, yeah. Yeah, unfortunately, a very slow stream, at least on my end. I wish I had more to talk about, but I was No, I drank all of the... I had like 3 waters next to me, and I drank all of them. I guess I must have been that dehydrated. I mean, I felt fine before I came home. Like, yeah, you have to go to bed now? You have work tomorrow? Alright, that's nice, Brett. Thank you for joining, at least. You've been the most frequent chatter and the most frequent viewer, which I'm very grateful for. It's always nice to have at least regular viewers. Even if some might not be able to join, like, every day, eventually, if I'm fortunate enough to have, like, more than 10 viewers at a time, I'll have much more frequent regulars, but, you know. I will always try to do my best. I'll do what I can, but no, it's always Wednesdays. It's one of those it is what it is kinds of things. Yeah, and I've been having trouble. You'll most likely be staying up all night with your friends. No, don't worry, Pinnacle, you're all good. It's better than nothing. It's having it on in the background. I mean, there are... I've had streams on in the background where I don't really comment on them. I'm kind of just a lurker. Like, when I'm editing a video and, like, say, like, a video game streamer is streaming, I usually have them on in the background whilst I'm editing videos. But for this stream, I'll probably be able to make at least 2 to 3. I'd prefer, I mean, it's less work that I have to do since some of these reactions can be very long, and I want to make sure that I go through the whole footage so that if I need to make particular fun edits, that I'd be able to do them. But, you know, win some and you lose some. But I will be back Friday night / Saturday morning for the newfound weekly DDR stream. Followed by, hopefully I can try to get through the KH1 super bosses. We have to do the Ice Titan. We have to do Sephiroth. We have to do the Unknown. And then the last world of the game, which is the end of the world. Hopefully the super bosses won't take too long. One of those 3, shouldn't take that long because there's a very easy loop, but the other 2 are much harder and unpredictable. Okay, Rhodey, hands where I can see. Keep your hands above the desk so I can see them. But thank you guys so much for joining. I apologize for not being able to comment too much on the videos that we looked at, because it genuinely makes me feel bad when I'm unable to comment on these videos because you guys aren't getting any, like, because I feel like that you guys aren't being properly entertained, and I also feel like that I'm not being transformative or not necessarily stealing the videos, but just not being transformative enough, because I know that's very important when it comes to React content. I don't want to end up like Frogan, Denims, and Caseytron with the whole Ethan Klein thing. I don't want to have to deal with that. So, but either way, thank you all so much for joining. Thank you for sticking around and putting up with my fatigue. And I hope to see you on Friday, where I will be physically active that night. So, take care.